Scratch that itch and slap that bitch. Welcome to the Kevin Holly Show. Skip.
Some weird, wild stuff. That is funny. I did not know that.
Dropping drawers and stabbing wars on the Kevin Holly Show.
And I gotta say, he has balls. This man has balls. He's laying them out there for us to see.
That's like sounds like a first date kit.
Ever shared a lustful evening with a Muslim woman?
We're dropping drawers and stabbing whores. It's the Kevin Holly Show.
Person is the whole problem. Are we going to allow this guy to be heard by anyone who can turn a dial?
He's got a pirate radio station. Nobody knows who he is.
You out there? You listening?
Welcome, everybody, to the Kevin Holly Show. It is episode 89, live on the IRN Internet Radio Network. Welcome, IRN listeners and Lionel Nation listeners. Thank you for sticking around, and I hope you enjoy our show, everybody. It's a little bit different, but it comes from the heart. Hope y'all like it. Hope y'all have a great time. We've got a lot going on tonight, an absolute lot of things happening tonight. First off, our hotline tonight, 727-237-6010. We have a special guest that'll be calling in right off the rip here. Attorney to the stars, Robert DuChemin. We'll be answering your legal questions if you call in or tweet us at Kevin Holly Show 4. That's Kevin Holly Show 4 with the number 4. Also talking about current events with Robert DuChemin. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Also in the second hour, we'll have actor David Schifter calling into the show. David Schifter spent about 14 years in TV as an investigative news reporter and TV correspondent, CNBC, CNN, and he has quite the show reel of movies and different acting roles, so we'll definitely have a lot of fun talking to David Schifter here in the second hour. But to start this show, ladies and gentlemen, a special treat for you all. It's been a long time. I don't know if you missed Pops. I know I did. Pops in the studio tonight. How the hell are you, Pops?
Well, compared to a lot of things, much better.
Man, it's so good to see you. God, I love this guy. Pops, I don't know if you guys recall from a couple of weeks ago, Pops had an accident and broke his hip, but he's doing great. Looks fantastic. He did some rehab, and he's back. So welcome back to the show, Pops. We love you. Totally awesome. Jaybird in the house. Also, Homeless Chuck and Pat Shit Crazy, all in the house tonight. I
gave you a rock.
Yeah, you did give me a rock.
We got the whole fam family. That's what you said. Bring the rock up. Kevin had to insist that we bring him up some rock tonight.
Exactly.
He made a special point.
We're almost like Sly and the Family Stoned. I knew there was the Stones. Never mind.
Yeah.
I said kick the rock out of the door, not bring me a rock. But whatever, I'll take it.
Wait a minute. I thought you said bring it.
No,
I
cool.
paid $300 for that. That's
Look at the size of that rock,
shit,
dude.
That's a big rock, dude.
That's a big rock.
Hey, Chuck,
baby.
Chuck, you rock, dude.
I can rock.
Oh, man, I'm so excited about tonight's show. I really am, man. This is going to be totally cool.
Shits, what's going on, baby? You look good in beige.
Patchy Crazy.
Not yet.
Not on a microphone tonight, but probably will peruse the microphone at some point. He's shaking his head like, no, not going to happen. Oh, man. So many things, man. So many things to talk about. Again, welcome, Lionel Nation listeners. Welcome, IRN listeners. We are live on the IRN right now, which is totally cool. irnbroadcast.com. Go on TuneIn Radio. Use the TuneIn app. Or get the IRN app or the Kevin Holly Show app for Android devices. And listen to us live on TuneIn, on IRN, or on Spreaker.com. If you do listen to us on Spreaker.com, we do have a chat room available. We do like to interact with our chat room participants. If you are in the chat room and you have any questions for attorney Robert DuChemin, feel free to let him rip.
He's an attorney?
He's not just an attorney, he's like the attorney, yes.
Oh, I wonder if he knows Ira.
Robert DuChemin.
DuChemin, yes. Mm-hmm.
DuChemin.
He's not Jewish, Pop, so don't worry. He's not going to get you any more money from the Kevin Holly Show. You're not going to be able to retain him to sue.
I'm even going to put my hand up when I come to choose to speak tonight.
DuChemin. Eddie DuChemin. Who's Eddie DuChemin?
It's not DuChemin, it's DuChemin.
DuChemin.
DuChemin
So it's like
with
a
a name.
gangbang of douches. It's DuChemin's.
Oh, my God, Chuck.
Okay.
All right, so we just lost that caller tonight.
Thanks, Chuck.
Welcome back, Chuck.
Glad
to see you here.
No, I'm kidding.
Listen, people, everybody from the Lionel Network, just know it gets only worse from here. So
no.
Tune in because we're getting ready to crank it up.
Law enforcement. I think it's a very it's a necessary thing in society today. The reason I was raising my hand is, if you guys, I'm concerned about Pops. Pops has got his finger in a gizmo that I'm not familiar with. Does that regulate air intake, or actually air soluble in his blood as well as pulse?
Yeah. Oxygen level.
Oxygen level as well as...
and it's not doing so hot, so...
Yeah, don't trigger him tonight, Chuck. For
maybe he needs the Heine lick maneuver.
Pops, I think Pops, I think Chuck just offered to tongue punch your butt.
He's been away for a while. Sponge baths can only take you so far.
Tongue punch your butt.
Tongue punch. I've never heard such a term.
So listen, for all of...
That'd be a great punk name for a band, wouldn't it?
Tongue punch?
Tongue punch.
Yeah, sure.
I'm apologizing on behalf of Chuck and myself for all of Pop's loyal listeners out there. They're probably ecstatic that he'd be back. And we're talking about tongue punching his butt. This isn't the way we should start out.
I don't know.
No. We should start out more with a hand.
Mighty piss poor for any kind of respect for an old man.
I think a tongue punch is a hell of a lot of respect for an old man.
Well, you have a point there, Chuck. You do. You have a point.
When was the last time you were tongue punched?
What?
It was at a sock hop.
It was at a sock hop where we shared one straw and a big soda.
Chuck, when's the last time you've been tongue punched?
Well, it cost me $50 the other night, and the guy showed up and he didn't look anything like his ad.
You got catfished, man.
Did you have to put peanut butter on it first, or what?
No, what I did is I just put it on Pat Berge's credit card and let him do his thing.
And it was declined, and then
So was my penis.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what.
In Tampa Bay.
I'll tell you what, man. I do want to say this. This is Pop's first night from breaking out. He kind of compared it to being in prison. He called the other residents inmates. He called the nurses COs, sergeant, private. He had them all labeled.
The one that touches my private parts.
But he tried to get the inmates together to watch a movie. We weren't able to facilitate all that, but I want to give a shout out to nurses everywhere, man. On a serious note,
let's give it to the people.
I'll tell you what, man. Those people do a hard job, man.
Yeah, nurses are great.
They care. And I think that caring doesn't come from a profession. That caring actually comes from within. There is no way in this world you could do those jobs and do some of those behaviors if your heart wasn't into actually trying to make people's lives better.
No, you know what you do when you burn out of nursing? All right, when you've had enough of it, you go to serving tables.
Nah.
You hit the bottom of the barrel, dude.
Or
You're
stealing
done.
all your
all
your customers' meds, and you end up strung out. One of the two.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Kevin Holly Show. Check us out in the chat room if you're listening on Spreaker.com. Welcome, Kathy, trucker Kathy, and Glick in the house, our chat room moderator. Guess what about Glick? He will be in Tampa tomorrow and Friday.
Heard that.
Baby Jesus, why doesn't Glick come into the show?
Well, he's on vacation with his family, so I'm not going to ask him to, abandon.
Ask him to sign and come by to the Trump Towers. The kids can play on the roof. It's a great place for the kids to play.
It's the Dump Towers, and he's got
throw
9.
rocks at the hookers.
He's got 9 children, Chuck. There's no way.
I have plenty of rocks stored up there.
Great, you got
I've been
3
doing it for
children.
A year now.
You're right, Pops. He does have 3 children. Beautiful children that had a great experience at Legoland. That's what brought Glick to beautiful Florida. And it looks like if you...
one of them's got a good arm.
I don't have my computer right now. I forgot it downstairs because I had...
No, you didn't. I brought your bag up.
No, my computer's not in that. It's sitting in the car, so I can't get on the chat room. But hi, Kathy. Hi, Glick. Pops, how the hell do you always remember that Glick's got 3 kids, dude? I can't remember that. I was going to say 2 or 4.
Oldest daughter's 13 years old.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
shocked that
Holy
he
crap,
actually got married considering his personality.
Where's Glick live?
I'm going to say someplace out in the middle of nowhere.
No.
Hey, Pops, what are Glick's children's names?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
1, 2, and 3, because he keeps things so simplistic in his world.
What about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9?
There's too many numbers, man.
I can't count past that, so that's all I got, man. Oh, man, I'm so
I
excited.
always wanted to have a little boy name him Lugnut.
Lugnut?
Yeah, I think that's the most masculine name you could possibly ever give a kid.
What about for you?
Lugnut?
Lugnut.
What about Tugnut? Wasn't that your favorite baseball player?
No, that's
Hockey
a different behavior. But I'm thinking Lugnut. You go into kindergarten, Lugnut, here. You already command a sense of presence.
Yeah, but I think you kind of already set that kid up for a lifetime of
NASCAR career.
Might be a lot like naming one guy a kid Sue.
Well, how about Johnny Cash? What was his real name? Sue, right? And then John Wayne was Marion. Those guys did okay.
Johnny Cash was not Sue. He just sang a song about it.
No, I think Johnny Cash's real name was Sue.
What was Jaybird's original name?
My
Next.
My original name
Brody. Brody, actually, in according to the biblical terms, Brody is the second son.
What is this, religious hour with Chuck right now?
It's about to get political.
All right. I'm just going to simply just shut up, sit back here and gawk at Patrick. He looks good. Patrick looks good in mauve.
There's something going on right now.
Where?
In Hillsborough County.
Oh, yeah?
That Chuck should be aware of.
What is it?
And this really cracks me up. I'm not sure if you guys heard about it. But they are looking to put a barking ban out.
I read about this today.
Have you heard this?
Barking ban?
A barking ban on your dogs.
If your dog barks for more than 20 minutes straight and a neighbor complains and they can prove it, then you get arrested, right?
You can get...
No, you get fined $5,000 roughly.
No, you can get a $500 fine.
And then it doubles every
or up to 60 days in jail, man, for your dog barking.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is every night that I go home, I'm going to practice my barking skills, and I'm going to videotape this.
You don't live in Hillsborough, though.
But I have good pipes, man. They might be able to hear me out there. And speaking of which, the problems that I've had with my dogs, or not my dogs, the neighbors' dogs, they got out and they created a horrible offense on one of my neighbor's little delightful dogs. They got out again and they killed another animal. So I call it animal control again. And what they share with me is they can't take anybody's private property, and an animal is your private property. And the only thing they can do is expeditiously, every time that there's an offense, they double the fines. But being that there's been a first offense, we have to document the fines because you just can't call in and send your neighbor into debt. And then I asked animal control, so what eventually happens when you get these stupid fines and nobody chooses to pay them? They said eventually they will either tax your income and or sentence you to jail time. But I currently am living in an environment where I have a couple of dogs that get out, and they have executed a couple of neighbors' dogs. Animals.
Okay. On a lighter note, maybe this is something we can bring up to attorney Robert DuChemin. Welcome, Robert, to the show. How are you, man?
This is Robert.
Hey, Robert, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you loud and clear, brother. Welcome to the Kevin Holly Show. Robert DuChemin, everybody, attorney to the stars. My man. How the hell are you?
All right. I just called in right when I was told to.
Yeah, you sure did. You're very punctual. How about that? An attorney being
Judges
punctual.
on time, I'd lose a fortune.
Right on. You know, it's funny that you say that right off the bat here. I read a story today about a man who was getting a new trial, a mortgage fraud trial, because his attorney was asleep during the hearing. Right here in Pittsburgh, actually. Have you ever fallen asleep during a trial, Robert?
No, but I had a few. I wish I could. I do condemnation work, and you get late in the afternoon, and it's all accountants and real estate appraisers. It's a trick staying awake.
I'll tell you what, man. I've been following you on Facebook and looking at your posts, and I don't know how public they are or how much you want to talk about them, but your Facebook posts, your news updates and things like that are absolutely fantastic, dude. That's one of the biggest reasons why I had approached you and asked you to come onto the show. I think that's really entertaining, man. I noticed.
Some are and some are. Sometimes I get so fed up with the government, I just got to rant a little bit.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else. Like today, I watched the Kevin Comey, the FBI director, was before Congress today for his annual checkup.
For his what?
They have to go once a year before Congress annually, and with respect to all the other times they're called anyway, it's just a requirement. And so he gets started, and of course they all talk about, the liberals want to talk about how he ruined the election for Hillary, and he comes right out and says, we found thousands of emails that contained top secret information on Anthony Weiner's computer that were sent from Hillary Clinton. So 3 hours go by, and not a single congressman asked him, well, what did you do about the fact that this is obviously illegal?
Yeah.
They're all concerned about politics, but nobody came to the conclusion that, hey, this is illegal.
Yeah, it's amazing why nobody's called for her, per se, for her head. You know what I mean?
Her. Why hasn't she been charged?
I don't understand it, man.
I mean, it's just unbelievable how much politics has gotten into everything.
Yeah,
that's one of my things. Let me rail for a minute here, Kevin, before we get started. I'll answer any questions you guys have, but there's all this stuff going around by hate crime. So I did a little research on, states keep passing all these hate crime legislation. In my now long career, I've come across murderers of all sorts of different types, and I'll tell you, the scariest ones are the ones that don't have any emotion when they kill. And I don't understand this hate crime. All it does is promote hate. If you charge somebody with a hate crime, you're not doing anything for the victims that they didn't already get. I mean, they're just they lost somebody.
Yeah.
The punishments are pretty much the same. They might make a longer sentence, but if it's murder, it's pretty much going to be the same.
So what you're saying is, why define the motivation if the outcome is the same?
Because, the government's starting to be concerned more with what you're thinking. It's just wrong,
Yeah.
I think,
we've been around serial killers for everything. Berkowitz, listen to his flipping dog. We got the California guy. I had a dear friend that lost a dear relative with the California. What was his creepy name? He had the tattoo on his hand when he went to court. Good-looking guy. Actually ended up getting married in prison and whatnot. It was that nuts. The kills.
Bundy he was in Orlando when I was in high school. He was charged with the Kimberly Leach, the 11-year-old
how about
girl.
better yet? I lived in Florida forever. How about when we had the whole scare that was going on in the colleges, and the guy was cutting people's heads off and positioning bodies when they actually went into the crime scenes? That was more horrific than anything, and then they actually tried to put it off on that one guy that was all scarred face, and then it turned out to actually be the same guy that actually came down through Tampa for back in the early 90s that did a little swing through there. My God, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but that was one of the most twisted guys. I mean, that even blows Dahmer away, or even Bundy away, as far as I'm concerned.
Don't those guys scare you more than the ones who got pissed off at somebody who tried to suck their dick and shot them?
As a matter of fact, I just went through that.
Chuck was triggered. Homeless Chuck.
You know, every time I drive on 275 heading to North Florida, I always wonder about how many bodies I really have buried off of that interstate. And it really doesn't bother me that much anymore.
Well, if you live this close to the Gulf Stream and fish as much as I do, I think burying bodies is a childish, idiotic mistake.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions about where to bury bodies, call in the Kevin Holly Show, 727-237-6010.
I'm joking, but it does bring up my point that hate crimes are just a political crime. It's ridiculous. Somebody kills somebody, you charge them with murder. Period.
So,
no matter their motivation.
My question to you is, this is Jay Bird, and I know this guy that I work with, and he's been putting Visine in drinks of one of the coworkers, and I really think they're on to me now. But I mean him. They're on to him. The guy does happen to formerly be from Iran. Do you think I could be in a hate crime thing, or is that just because? I
think it's an idiotic crime to put Visine in somebody's drink.
Tell them how to really kill somebody. Come on, man.
Hey, Robert, isn't that a federal food tampering offense right there?
If it went across state lines.
No, it's only tampering if you do it while it's still in the store.
I have a question for you. In your head.
I don't want to give you any ideas in case you get bored and sad.
Oh my God, this is a think tank. We got ideas.
Hold on a second. We've got Pops in the studio, Mr. DuChemin. Pops is an 83-year-old Korean War veteran. He's got a question for you. Pops, go ahead.
You didn't kill enough of What is the question?
I don't think my mic is turned on. I don't hear anything, but it doesn't matter.
I'm not supposed to be like Arnak and give you the answer first. Okay, what's the question?
Well, I noticed, or I heard today that Colbert, the guy who he has a talk show.
Stephen Colbert, yeah.
Stephen Colbert. He had some derogatory statements about the president, didn't he? Last day or two. Do you know anything about that?
Oh my God.
Well, yeah, I do. I think it's a crime if you tell jokes that aren't funny, and I don't think you prosecute anybody for making comments. The funny thing is, that everybody's up, and he made 13 minutes or so, some really horrible comments. The only thing they're upset about, the one that implied Trump was gay. I got gay friends. I don't care what they do. And let me tell you, after going through a divorce, I wish I was. Well, I think it's funny that the only time they got upset about it was about the gay comment. All the other horrible things that got said about Trump, nobody seemed to care about.
Colbert said so. I didn't get what he said.
Well,
he said that Trump's mouth was the one that got him in trouble. Was saying that his mouth was a holster for Putin's cock.
Yeah,
that's great.
A holster for what?
It's funny though, because I tweeted this out a while ago. You got to be, if you have any common sense, do you really think Putin wanted Trump to be president over Hillary?
Fuck
He
no.
walks all over the Democrats. He did everything he wanted in Syria for 8 years under Obama's administration. They built their biggest base outside of Russia in Syria. And why would he want Trump to be president?
Exactly.
Especially
that
some
gets me
loose
about
cannon.
that whole thing.
I'm sorry. I'll stop.
This whole thing is just a made-up bunch of bullshit.
You know what?
If I could make up that stuff that good, I'd be a lawyer.
Mr. DuChemin, isn't it against the law to slander Putin in his own country, making gay references or something like that? I mean, I know it's not illegal here, but it seems like that's why people were upset that they're saying that it's homophobic comments. The same people that were marching with vagina hats are all up in arms about, or I'm sorry, they're not all up in arms about the same thing on the other side of the dial. You know what I mean?
Well, we're on the internet here, right? So I can say anything.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, man.
Well, what I liked about the women dressing up vaginas is the one guy that said, well, it makes them look like a bunch of cunts.
Hey, Mr. DuChemin.
Okay, I'm going to get a penalty for that tonight.
No, you're fine.
We're in the process of a divorce.
Oh, you guys, when I get home.
I have a joke for you that Pops had told me here. It's do you know the difference? It's more of a riddle. Do you know the difference between a
pygmy village?
Thank you. A pygmy village and a woman's track team. What is the difference between a pygmy village and a woman's track team?
One are stunning runts. Is that what it is?
Oh my God, you're so close. Yeah, one is a bunch of cunning runts.
One is a bunch of
cunning runts. That's it.
Oh, obviously.
Cunning runts.
Yeah, Robert DuChemin has obviously listened to our show before, so.
That's the way it goes. But I'm just so sick of all the crap that's going on. And then now Baltimore's in the news again because they're rivaling Chicago to get more people killed this year than Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard that their county state's attorney. But where she's talking, and I don't even know if she's speaking English. I mean, the girl is illiterate. I'm thinking, how in the world is she's supposed to protect anybody?
It's ridiculous, man. It's like you said on Facebook where, they hire a bunch of cronies and put them in political positions and, then they ban guns for people to defend themselves. And the same exact thing happened in Baltimore. It's happening right now. They're going to be possibly in the lead,
Have any of you guys ever seen Baltimore?
Yeah.
No, I've never seen Baltimore.
I've driven through it, and that's more than I ever want to see again.
I'm telling you, man, fucking napalm.
My friends got married in Annapolis, and we went up to Baltimore for the bachelor party.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised he didn't get a dishonorable discharge for going.
So, Robert, what else is on your mind, man? What's triggered you in the last couple of days? Anything?
Well, I'm kind of the MS-13's really gotten under my skin. I used to do a lot of big gang drug criminal work for the federal conflict attorneys for the federal defense. This is in the early '90s, and they had the right stuff then. They can come down on the drug gangs pretty good, but these gangs are walking all over people now, and. If you saw the last thing I tweeted today, or I say tweet, but I'm putting them on Facebook because I can't keep that words down. And about this MS-13, somebody chastised the Attorney General for saying they're demons. They kill people with machetes to scare people. Well, that's pretty demonic, I think.
Yeah, they hit that right on the head.
So they hit their point. They made their point.
They arrested 3 guys on a big high-profile arrest today. They're all illegals in New York. And the gang, and from machete murders,
Do you watch Tucker Carlson? And if you did you happen to see Tucker Carlson last night?
I do periodically. I record them all, but usually by Friday I haven't seen any. I just skim through a couple of them.
He had this guy on last night that was somehow trying to defend MS-13 on that same logic, and it was just sick. It was
that's right.
It's repulsive.
The University of Houston professor.
Yeah.
He said he said we shouldn't demonize them. I'm like,
they are fucking demons.
They make more money off of murder than they do off of drugs. Yeah. This is not somebody you want in your neighborhood.
No. And they're spreading like wildfire,
Somebody needs to have something taken care of quick.
Right on, yeah.
Convictions are unreal. Detroit convicts less than 8% of their murders. You got a better than 90% chance of getting away with it if you kill somebody in Detroit.
It's the Chuck Show tonight.
No, it's not the Chuck Show. No, I just had a question on that. That's fine.
But if your ex-wife tells you, I want to meet you in Detroit for a romantic weekend, don't go.
Don't go, yeah. Well, I mean, what about crimes of passion, though?
Chance of getting away with murder. I mean, come on. In Japan, like 99% of every single crime from shoplifting to murder is figured out because they have a good moral base. And the people outside, the kids can run around fairly free. If it wasn't for terrorism, Japan would be perfect.
Yeah, right on.
I mean, as far as crime goes.
Yeah.
And because everybody is concerned with it. And we need to get more people concerned with it. You don't want your city to be a sanctuary city. Forget all the federal money. That means all the drugs are coming in. All the guns are coming in.
Yeah. Now, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about people, potential mayors, governors being... stripped of federal money for that.
The California court last week did it, and I put out there that people don't understand there's this very specific clauses in the U.S. Constitution that get overlooked. First is the supremacy clause, and all these were used in the 1960s when the southern states refused. We had states where the school board would vote to reject the federal government. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
And the judges just appointed a federal overseer, like a governor, to run that school board. So we've taken much more drastic steps in my lifetime. This is ridiculous that the cities can just say that and get away with it. Like I said, they ought to be careful. About 150 years ago, well, I guess about 200 now almost, but Atlanta, they told the federal government to take a hike, and they burned the place to the ground.
All right,
Civil War, they got even. But ever since the Civil War and the Civil War amendments 13, 14, and 15 to the Constitution, states cannot do this. And the original Constitution says they're supreme. Here's something else the media is overlooking. It also says in the U.S. Constitution that every state employee has to pledge their allegiance and support for the federal Constitution, not just the state one. And you see legislators, I saw some lady over in Kansas or something, refusing to say the Pledge of Allegiance or anything. Well, she needs to be removed from office, period.
I
you're
agree, man.
anti-American, you're not American, so don't be here and try and change the place, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree.
I mean, we
with
need some changes, but we don't need to change our underlying structure.
No, I think that's what most people would agree with you on that. But what you see on the news, the mainstream media, for the most part anyway, is the exact opposite. You know, and it is pretty sickening, man. Let me ask you this, Robert. What do you think about the recent legislation here in Florida? What is it? 73% of the public voted for the legalization of marijuana for medicinal purposes, yet they're outlawing any way to consume it. I mean, how are you supposed to consume it? You can't smoke it. You can't vape it.
I have underlying ideological problems with that. I don't like the government getting involved. And I have some conflicting views, too. You get to, crack cocaine and heroin, it destroys lives. It's a bad drug. Maybe we shouldn't have it, but I also don't think that guys who are 19 should be getting sentenced to 20 years for dealing with crack when they have no other options because they've not been educated properly. As far as the marijuana, there's too much of a push against it, and I think it's stupid, to be honest with you, for states to pass any laws other than a law just saying we're not going to prosecute. They could remove all the prosecution for marijuana. The problem with medicinal marijuana, here's the biggest problem I see. There are several federal laws that people don't realize until it's too late. One of which is, it is a federal crime to possess marijuana, period. If you get a medicinal marijuana card and it says it's legal in your state, under federal law you get immediately placed on the do not buy, you can't buy or possess a handgun or ammunition.
Yeah.
How about that?
I agree.
Guys who are just going out and having fun on Friday night, next time they go to buy a gun, they've lost their right to bear arms.
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous, and that's one of the reasons, I'm not a pothead by any means, okay? But I'm not against, somebody going home and...
I have friends that smoke pot, I understand.
Yeah, I get it, but if I was, I've got carpal tunnel in both wrists, and I've got a bad knee that needs to be cleaned up. And I always thought, wow, if marijuana's legal, I've never had pain medicine in my life. I've never had a Percocet, nothing like that. But wouldn't it be cool to have a marijuana card, and then you can get marijuana, and it could take away the pain, from carpal tunnel. Maybe it'll take the numbness out of my fingers. Who knows, right? But I don't want to risk not being able to have my concealed permit or the right to bear arms, like you said, all because of medicine. I think it's stupid. It really is. All the while, alcohol's legal. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I agree. I think it's stupid. Outlawing marijuana is ridiculous. Hemp makes some of the best rope other than nylon, an artificial substance. Natural substances, hemp is the best rope-making material in the
world. How many alcohol crimes have there been in regards to domestic violence, DUI, and just honest to God, just slaughter of people due to alcohol? How many people are in prison that are blacked out, wake up and go, fuck, what did I do from drinking? You don't occur that from medical marijuana users. Most of these guys aren't even getting off the couch.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
I hear that's true.
It's also the industrial complex, the prison industrial complex. It's a big money machine.
It's privatized.
If I could share my story real quick with medical marijuana.
Let's face it, we have lost the drug war. I got addicted to morphine and oxys when I broke my neck. And I recovered. I'm one of the few guys that's recovered from a cervical spine fracture, and it was
a
few
less
years
than
in the
3% recover.
Yeah.
Very hard recovery, and still to this day I have lots of problems. And people have suggested you can smoke a little pot and it might help you out. But I'm thinking, getting off of that morphine was so hard. I never want to touch anything because I don't want to go through that again.
Cough syrup, everything.
If I could share my story real quick with marijuana, I was a victim of anorexia. Okay,
you were not.
I started smoking marijuana, and I'm proud to say right now I'm 5'8", 230 pounds.
Good job. You
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, holy crap!
Oh no! Ask them about the expo that they're doing in Florida right now, due to the pill epidemic. You saw they did it in Naples just last night. They're going around all of our state of Florida because my understanding we lose at least 10 people a day to opiate overdose, and finally, the state has realized we have an opiate problem, and I just don't understand why it's not legislation
with those. And not just the opiates are ridiculous. One of my nieces tells me her friend had some problems with her C-section. I don't understand why he did. The doctor prescribed OxyContin. And 2 days later, she's back at the office looking for a refill. And no OB/GYN says, no, that's all you get. No, I can't. That's not all I get. Well, why'd you give it to her in the first place? You know, life has a little bit of pain. It's okay to put up with a little bit of pain to avoid becoming a dumbass.
Yeah, it's becoming addicted, yeah.
My understanding, sir, is most subscriptions actually currently, if you actually fulfill your subscription for 1 month basis, you are going to go through withdrawals. You know, I've had multiple surgeries, I've multiple injuries, and I'm not a big opiate fan. I'm a big beer kind of guy, and the drug we're trying to legalize. But my understanding, I've seen 3 friends of mine lose their homes, lose their families, lose everything just due to a car accident. And next thing you know, what they were subscribed for a 1 month dose left them actually physically addicted. 1 month dose.
1 month subscription.
I'll tell you, if you ever run out, just go to AA, and there's a lot of guys there selling it.
Right on. We're talking to Robert DuChemin, attorney and on-air personality. Robert, do you have any plans to go back on the Shannon Burke show?
Well, he's in Atlanta, and so I do apparently, from time to time I'll go on there and do something about that. But it's not like where I can have people call in and give them legal advice because I'm not licensed to practice in Atlanta.
True.
And I could disclaim it all the time, but...
yeah, it make it kind of hard. I wish we had more reach and call. Well, we have a big reach.
Where do we get a hold of him?
Yeah, how do our listeners get a hold of...
my email's robert@DuCheminLaw, DuCheminLaw.com. And our office phone is 407-425-3000.
Very nice.
Can you help me get my gun rights back in the state of Florida?
I probably could. Why did you lose them?
Felony.
Felony what?
Well, you have the record sealed, or you have to have the governor restore your rights, and there's a process to go through with that. How long ago was it?
Time.
I'm probably not within time. The end of my sentence was probably around December 2013.
Usually you need 10 clean years.
No kidding. I thought it was 8, but...
Okay.
10 is pretty good.
Excuse me, sir. I'm under the same situation, but my felony only involved a... basically, I turned into my parking lot and hit my neighbor's taillight, and unfortunately I was intoxicated. And in Florida, any contact with vehicle yields me with a felony. Am I going to have to run the rest of my days not being able to vote and not being able to protect myself?
If you can get it restored, again, the time is a factor. I'll tell you the best success I've seen
on stuff like... It was 14 years ago.
How long?
Going on 14, maybe 15 years ago. With no offenses, nothing since that, other than that hooker in Japan.
That doesn't count.
Right.
In some circles, that's a plus.
I'll tell you what, Robert, we've got a lot of felons on the Kevin Hart show.
Candidate. When anything involving a DUI like that with damage, like this one guy, I tried to help out, but it was his 3rd DUI within a year, and he wondered why the police got there so fast, because when he woke up, the cop was right there at the car, but it's because he hit a cop car. Because
that's not going to happen.
The police officers.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's my understanding I can petition the courts to make this happen. What is the criteria in order to make this happen? I've been squeaky clean for 15 years.
And it's a you go right into your criminal case, and I could help you or appoint you to somebody if you call the office. And then what they do
can you appoint somebody sexy and blonde?
Right. You can file a petition to restore your rights. and it goes through a long, bureaucratic process, and you have to put together a good case. With anybody with a DUI or something like that, generally they want to see some rehabilitation. Did you go to rehab? Or did you drink at all?
Once again, sir, I'm sorry. Did they need to see proof of what?
That's why we wear headphones.
Rehabilitation. That you're not driving around drunk anymore.
Oh, okay, sir. I've completed all kinds of programs. I've gone on 15 years without. I did the 2 years of the breathalyzer. I slept with the court-appointed secretary. I've done everything.
So call the office, Chuck. Go to DuCheminLaw.com.
I think you're in the range of people that it could happen with easily.
Yeah. Robert, what's your success rate?
I'll tell you, I had one guy who I was trying to help out with that.
Now, is it going to cost me? Is it actually going to cost me?
Well, yeah.
Why is that? I'm an American citizen. I've done my time. I've done my crime. I have held my chin above the law. I haven't shot a hooker. I haven't done nothing.
And that's the good news.
Yeah, I don't think Mr. DuChemin is going to work for free.
What I enjoy about any program is where I get paid.
Yeah, how about that, right?
You can do it yourself. Go down there into the court and ask them, but, you get a lawyer, they'll file it, and they can figure out, usually, by our experience, how to work it out.
Robert,
so what you're saying to me is money makes it go around.
Well, no, it's just like anything else. I mean, if you can pull your own appendix out if you want, but it might get done right. Like I told somebody yesterday, I'm not here encouraging you to retain me for your divorce. I'd rather you do it yourself because I make 3 times as much fixing it afterwards.
That's awesome. Robert, what kind of success rate do you have with expunging people's names and, you know what I mean? Do you have in general, maybe not just so much you and your firm, but in general, do attorneys have a pretty good success rate with people after the right amount of time, clearing their name, getting their rights restored?
If you're a law-abiding citizen, especially, I hate to say it, but if you've been married the whole time and everybody comes in and says good things, yeah, you'll probably get them restored.
Cool. Well, that's encouraging news.
10-plus years, not a single problem, no traffic tickets, nothing. Yeah. That's good.
I'm right there with you, but I got 30 ex-girlfriends that hate me, though.
It's okay.
Yeah, nobody's going to say anything nice about homeless Chuck.
And 50 boyfriends.
Baby's got to make some money.
Wow. I apologize, Mr. DuChemin, for the raucous zoo-type crowd.
Okay. Can I ask Mr. DuChemin
oh, my God, Chuck.
A personal question? Sir, I grew up with a very unique name myself, and I took a beating.
No, but I'm not going to let you know.
What DuChemin did to your childhood?
Well, my parents are French, and it's a fairly common French name, believe it or not. In fact, there's another Robert DuChemin in Florida.
There's one other one?
Well, there's 2 other ones. My son, and then some guy on Facebook we found, and so he and I both friended the guy.
Yeah, right. Dude, there's
3 of us right now in this state alone with the full name.
That's awesome.
And, it was never a problem with me. I was kind of a big kid and a bit of a bully. I played sports, so, every now and then I'd have to punch somebody in the face, and usually that solved it for a few months or 2 years or so.
Hey,
but as an adult, no problem.
Mr. DuChemin, there's one other... I'm sorry, there's...
I played soccer a shoe back when it was fun, and I had to put bag on the name of a practice jersey until my mother saw it, and then I took it off.
That's awesome. Dude, there's one other Kevin Hawley that I found on the internet, and he's a black kid in high school.
Yeah, I saw that. He's doing real well, though.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. That's
you're interested about your son.
Yeah.
You might need your advice on how to get out of that one.
I'm some DNA by this week. I'll get yours later.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey, you can't prove anything, Robert. You can't prove nothing.
I'll tell you, here's a funny story. I used to be part of a real big firm when I was younger, and we were very conservative, did a lot of investment banking and stuff like that. We had a tax lawyer who was a partner in the firm. He's in the big money. Never even touched her, but his secretary named her kid after him, and he got fired the next day.
Nice.
They just wouldn't put up with anything. They didn't want anybody even thinking it. It was unbelievable.
Isn't that amazing?
Immediately, my secretary, I'd kill her if she tried to name a kid after me.
All right, so Cheap Trick said it the best. The dream police, baby.
So, Robert,
I think that was trying to get back at her boss.
Yeah. Well, listen,
she knew the boss. She did it, knowing he never touched her, just to get rid of the guy.
Yeah. I'm thinking about doing that with homeless Chuck tonight.
No, I pop in occasionally, and this will probably be my last.
Hey, you did send me something today, Kevin, about this federal whistleblower.
Yeah.
But I looked it up, and it looks like they've amended the statute a few times in the last 3 or 4 years.
Exactly.
The right to appeal is 30 days, so apparently he's missed the time from the letter you sent.
2 years.
What do you recommend for him?
Subcontractor should be included in this.
Exactly.
And I don't.
I had 2 years.
I think it was a mistake, and I'd have to check in. You should have called the guy, given some specific authority, but it's too late now. Whoever did it.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen. That's Patrick Berge, and he's live in studio right now. He's putting on his headphones. Here we go. You got that mic there? There you go.
I was told. I appreciate you looking into that. I was told, I believe by my congressman, if I'm not mistaken, that I had 2 years to...
I have 2 years. Well, usually it's a 2-year statute of limitations. You might have some time. I'd have to look into it in more detail.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gotten, too much whistleblower stuff, although I wish there was more of it, because God only knows every single piece of government is corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, the problem... The problem, and that's exactly what you're saying, right? It's like it's a good thing. The reason they added subcontractors onto the whistleblower protection was because they wanted to prevent future Edward Snowden issues. So in 2013, they added subcontractors to it, but apparently not, And it's like...
No, I think they did, but you see, the thing is you're an employee of a subcontractor, which is like another step removed. I'd have to look into that.
No,
and I'll tell you, I looked it up. I only found 10 cases on the whole Department of Defensing and all the federal registry on that issue, and I didn't find a single one that talked about when it was affected. But I did find some older ones that said subcontractors were okay.
Yeah,
so I think you were okay.
The problem that they had, and they actually...
It happened in September 2015?
That was when they made the final
well, when did the event happen?
The event actually happened in April of 2015.
It seems to me like everything after there was like a 13 amendment or 12 or something like that.
Now, what I was told, and this is what's ridiculous, right? What I was told by the IG in a follow-up email was that because my contract originally started in 2010, and there were no significant modifications to it.
That is true. It had to be a contract that was entered into after the date. And there's some constitutional law provisions for that, too.
Now, what's the intent of Congress? Was the intent of Congress to try to prevent future Snowdens? Because if that's the case, you don't include some and not the other. Because there's no asterisk on...
Here's the problem is...
When you go to the
clause in the U.S. Constitution that says that Congress can't pass any ex post facto laws, and they can't alter the terms of any contracts. So a contract that was entered into on a certain date cannot be affected by these other laws generally. There's some exceptions. But your type of contract, this thing, the contractor himself entered into a contract with the federal government, and he was not subject to having his... That's what it has to be in your case. That's what brought it up.
Now, they said, unless there were modifications to the contract. Well, there were modifications.
Yeah, but that's not even enough, because there's a U.S. Supreme Court case from, 1990, I don't remember the name of it, that says that if you modify a contract, and it still keeps the original date of the contract, it cannot be affected by these subsequent laws.
So... But you have the... So
you modify them to get around that, too.
You have the intent of Congress, right, to try to avoid future
Snowdens.
Snowdens.
Have a constitutional prohibition.
If you go...
law that changes the term of a contract.
If you go to the IG's website, right, it shows that subcontractors after 2013 were included. Now, it doesn't show that with an asterisk next to it, then going into very specifics about, if it's...
Every case. I'm just telling you the law, and the law is Congress can't pass a law that changes the terms of a contract. It's been that way since 1789.
So, Robert, is he screwed, or what would you recommend he do?
He's screwed. Well, he can't get the protection from that.
It's
he can only
not
sue for wrongful termination.
But let's
Well,
forget
hold on a
about
second.
me.
He said you could sue for wrongful termination, though. You know.
You're just not within the Federal Whistleblower Act.
Yeah, but let's make this not about me. All right, let's make this about actually protecting national security. Are we doing that? All right, let's forget about anything with me. It's Congress got together to do this to protect our national security, and that's what this is about.
They got to do it to protect whistleblowers so they can find out what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And so
and
that's national security. That's more of a, hey, we're spending billions and we want to find out why it's not, the job's not getting.
Well, it is national security because they specifically did it because of the events that happened after Edward Snowden. He was a contractor.
I don't know. In your Department of Defense, they have them for every different agency. It's a little different for the Department of Defense, but.
And in fact, that's actually what Hillary Clinton said during her debate, right? She said that we've made these modifications, including subcontractors, to prevent future Snowdens.
But I'm telling you, the law is, whatever their intent wants to be, the only way to change the Constitution is to get an amendment to the Constitution.
Understood. I'm not trying to get crazy like that.
Contracts to be changed by Congress.
I'm not trying to get crazy like that, but there is a purpose for protecting subcontractors and contractors, and that is to protect national security.
What they ought to do is, if the Congress wanted to do the right thing, they would say that all contracts are going to expire and you're going to have to renew them and accept these new terms.
That seems to make sense.
The cost whatever they're buying next.
The bottom line is they did this to protect national security. That's my whole point on this. And it's sort of irrelevant about me. That's the irrelevant part. My
what do you
issue
want them to do? They can't by law. They cannot enter into. They cannot change the terms of existing contracts.
Yeah. So it's just like but because of that, you do agree, and I hear what you're saying. I'm not arguing with it or anything, but you do understand.
The most important thing in any society in the history of the world is enforceability of contracts, and I can give you a million great examples. Let's see. Start with South America that has 3 times the resources we have. They never had this thing. And look which country developed better. If you look at anywhere in the world, when contracts are not enforceable by the government, it destroys economies, period.
And when national security is not protected, and people like Edward Snowden feel that they have no choice but to do what they do, and national security...
Edward Snowden would still be in trouble because he should have brought it to an inspector general or somebody like that.
Actually, from his perspective, it really was at the level that they were talking about, the classification level and what they were working on. He had no protections whatsoever. And in reality, if he brought it to anybody, he's going to be out of a job, right? And that's why,
he could have brought it to a congressman or senator or somebody.
Well, actually, you really can't. This is one of my areas. I was information assurance. I was 10 years with the DOD. And really, he had no protections on that. If he did anything, he would lose his job, and the status quo would have remained. Right?
I'll tell you, I did some government contracting work we'll never get into as part of my career, too. And I'll tell you, you have to submit to lie detectors, you have to submit to all sorts of other stuff. There's no reason why they can't figure out why anything is going on or not going on if they want to. I'm convinced of that. But when it comes to contracts, and that's why as soon as you said that, that's why I understand why it happened. You have got to respect contracts. I had a case where I had in a contract that my client had to get notice of a change of ownership by certified mail. Okay? My client, which was a huge company, got notice. They admitted they got notice, and they admitted that it got misplaced or something. Anyways, long and short of it is, I went into court and still won. Because we actually lost and won it on appeal. Because, we won and still won on appeal, but the appellate decision was clear that the government can't change the terms of the contract. If it says certified mail, it's got to be certified mail. It can't be regular mail. And if you don't do it, you don't comply. And all that stems from the same thing. We have found in the U.S., luckily, that if you don't enforce contracts...
Why is it, and Kevin's like, we're running short here, but really quick, how is this, how is national security, how is whistleblower protection considered any part of a contract? I don't get that. right? I get, the contracts are, you got your deliverables, you've got these things. I don't understand how that...
Because this is enforced through contracts. That whole section of the statute requires certain things to be in contracts. And you can't require terms to be in contracts after they've been entered. They could have worded things many different ways and done it differently as a law, but that particular stuff with the whistleblowers and contractors and subcontractors. Have you tried to get a contract through a school board recently? You got to agree to so many contractual terms that will never even apply, just because the legislators can't think on their own, so they just apply everything to these contracts.
And if a lot of contracts are like voided anyway, like if you break the law with it, if they're not legal or something. I don't know. It just seems to me as though you've got to have there's got to be something that can be done to protect
contractors to adhere to certain terms. That is the whole basis of that law.
Well, listen,
they can make anything illegal. In fact, there's not even a private right of action under the statute that you went under. There's no private cause of action. You couldn't have sued them individually. It's a federal whistleblower statute that requires certain federal procedures, and it requires subcontractors and contractors to have certain contracts. There's a 1970 contract that a Defense Department regular contractor, not even a subcontractor, is still rolling over every year, and they're not bound by any of this.
Oh, man.
And like I said, all Congress has to do, all the Appropriations Committee has to do is say, we will not appropriate any money to any contractors who don't renew contracts.
So that's the way to do it.
And they would solve the problem this year.
That's how I have. That's what I got to do.
But what you ought to do is sue them in a state court. Where did it happen?
Korea, actually.
Well, sue them in federal court.
So, but that's what I got to do in order to fix this. I have to have Congress change. I have to have Congress make it so that all contracts are renewed.
There are other penalties that Congress could use to go after them criminally.
Okay.
Well, why don't we hook up Pat Berge with...
There's specifically states in this statute that it doesn't create a private right of action. So you got screwed because you didn't get the benefits of front pay and all that from a whistleblower statute.
No, I didn't get screwed at all. The country got screwed, right? And that's my issue with this.
I agree, but we get screwed every...
Yeah, I get screwed every day. I got 3 ex-wives and 4 kids, okay? The country is the
getting
difference.
lucky and getting screwed.
The country is my issue here, right? And that's what I'm trying to resolve. I really appreciate your time. I really do, sir.
That's all right. I'm just trying to explain to you, when it comes to contracts, and that whole section of the statute deals with contracts. And the Supreme Court's clear, and I don't blame them. It's the law in the U.S., and it's good. There are several foreign countries that insist on contracts having venue provisions in the United States because of that. They won't deal with their own people because they can't get it enforced, depending on who's in power. It is the most important thing in any society to have enforceability of contracts, in my mind. In my humble opinion, as former president of the federal bar.
There you go.
Well, yeah.
Robert, listen, we're running up against a hard break here, like a very hard break. I really appreciate you calling in and interacting with us. I'd love to have you back on the show again, possibly when we have, maybe some more callers as we grow. We're about 2 years into the show.
Figure it out, but I'll call you during the week or something when we talk about it.
That would be awesome. And again, if you could let our listeners know how they could get a hold of your law firm.
Robert DuChemin. It's DuChemin Law and Mediation. Do a lot of mediations if there's any attorneys listening. And it's 407-425-3000.
Awesome, Robert. And I just went through mediation 2 weeks ago in a custody battle, and it went very well. I'm very familiar with that. So kudos for you.
I'll tell you, I was for years because I love to fight. Man,
I'm looking for the lucky ex-wife number 4.
Court-ordered mediation, but as a mediator now, as I get older, I have gotten a little wiser. There's some cases that you just got to mediate, and for example, I've recently mediated a small construction contract case, which was repairs to a home. It's like $18,000.
Wow.
By the time they let the case get to mediation, one of the lawyers had billed his client $70,000.
Jesus Christ.
And they'll never use me again because I laid into the guy. I said, why the hell didn't you agree to come down here quickly and mediate this thing before neither client can afford to settle?
Amazing.
You got a small subcontractor or whatever, and a homeowner. nobody's going to be able to cough up those kinds of fees.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat, man. I'd be lucky, to make a living wage for crying out loud, and going through mediation twice now. Thank God we were able to sign an agreement. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Check out a lot
of money in the long run.
Yeah. No, you're right. Well, listen, dude, thank you so much for calling in. And
nice talking to you guys, and I hope we can talk again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Robert DuChemin, everybody. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. Yay!
Yay! Awesome. We'll be right back after this short break, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
This is Lisa London, and you are listening to The Kevin Holly Show.
We in the Bay, that's where I reside. My coconut shack in the back of the Berg, up in the cocoa, gone off whatever I got. I'm comfy in my spot, drinking and smoking and writing rhymes in the Bay. See, I'm from California, out in the East Bay, where we grow pody ropey, over where we stay. Call it Killer Cali, potency strawberry. There's no releasing morsels, kick me some dovery. And drink some 40 water like it was 93. The corner store, my friend, evidently. My white tea smelling like black and mild smoke. Cigarettes and bomb, there ain't much hope. But see, I need my vices to cope, nigga. Roll with block living in the town, so critical. It's so hot with no sun, what the hell is going on? Explanation you can tell. In the Bay, that's where I reside. My coconut shack in the back of the Berg, up in the cocoa, gone off whatever I got. I'm comfy in my spot, drinking and smoking and writing rhymes in the Bay. That's where I reside. My coconut shack in the back of the Berg, up in the cocoa, gone off whatever I got. I'm comfy in my spot, drinking and smoking and writing rhymes. This atmospheric pressure is pushing on my dome, cause everywhere I turn, chickadees in need of bone. Well, why not give it to them? Cause some don't qualify, but the ones that do get bamboo in a loving ride, like a 9.5. Booty Nui, Susu Perkin, body banging, lips juicy like they used to working. Any campinato, white or black or island passion, Latina, Indian to Asian, over here we smashing. Then speak that freaky tales like short in the day, and illustrate them in my rhyme so you can picture the way we get down over here, from Coco to Skull Valley, Joe to San Ho, Nickel Dime, We in the Bay, that's where I reside. My coconut shack in the back of the Berg, up in the cocoa, gone off whatever I got. I'm comfy in my spot, drinking and smoking and writing rhymes in the Bay. That's where I reside. My coconut shack in the back of the Berg, up in the cocoa, gone off whatever I got. I'm comfy in my spot, drinking and smoking and writing rhymes. See, I got back from the islands in that state of mind. Got caught slipping on the soil with no heat of mine, but felt a 9 to my dome. Fool, what you got? I'm back in Cali now. Damn, I forgot that it's gunplay. We play for keeps. So cold when funk is deep. Not enough Indians and way too many damn chiefs. Fist fights and turf war, hoe slaps and much more. 4-4s and 4-5s busting through your front door. Making invasions if you pushing that weight. Somewhere along the line you made a mistake, but that's damn near everywhere you go. I'm just telling you my story so you know. We in the Bay, that's where I reside. My coconut shack in the back of the Berg, up in the cocoa, gone off whatever I got. I'm comfy in my spot, drinking and smoking and writing rhymes in the Bay. That's where I reside. My coconut shack in the back of the Berg, up in the cocoa, gone off whatever I got. I'm comfy in my spot, drinking and smoking and writing rhymes.
More news, more talk, more fat girls. It's the Kevin Holly Show.
Boyfriend, you come around to feel the pain. It was yesterday
yourself. You never stand up to him, he takes it away. Can you let yourself stay? Can you give it to him? He said it's the last time he does it again. 'Cause I've been around this lonely place before. I've been around this lonely place
It's worse than throwing cats in the river.
It's the Kevin Holly Show on the IRN Internet Radio Network.
you're strapping on to the Kevin Holly Show, where Kevin himself is grayer than 50 Shades. I shot Harambe, but I did not shoot the little boy. I shot Harambe, but I did not shoot the little boy. Harambe come to Cincinnati Zoo to live his life out on display. That little boy was found not guilty for the killing of Harambe. For the killing of Harambe. But I say, shot Harambe, but I swear it was for self-defense. I shot Harambe, 'cause a little boy climbed over the fence. That's where I gotta stop. Because that's where... Wait. Because you ever have an itch that wouldn't go away? Kind of like Kevin.
No, but you know, nowadays it just seems so theatrical and so much. It's almost like these guys get all dialed up and it's like, I want to wrestle with you because I find you attractive.
Wow, Chuck,
you know?
really? Wow, dude.
That's not the case, is it?
No, that is not the case whatsoever.
You've got a new fan in me, so I just got to know, like, are you looked at as like a guy or a bad guy?
I try to do the right thing. I guess the best way to say that. I mean,
the people hate you, though.
No.
No? So, hey, listen, dude. How'd you come by the name Blanco Loco, if you don't mind me asking? Blanco, we're trying to take this to the next step right here. And I was wondering if we put something together where we video recorded this, okay? And let it get slipped out. I mean, we might have a good lawsuit.
Yeah, that's, you know.
We'll take the show to a new level. I mean, his physique is great. I can't see his face, but if he wears
Kevin,
a mask,
you're gonna let him continue
mean,
with his jazz.
I'm just going to let him run out of air, I guess.
I don't think Mrs. Loco would appreciate that very much.
Oh, there's a Mrs. Loco.
There's a Mrs. Loco.
All right.
Jay loves wrestling federations, lucha libre masks, boots, and all. He feels a premonition that's scheduled for one fall. Jay's into new positions. He likes kicks in the candlelight. He's got a new addiction for every Thursday night. He wants to take Loco's mask off and go dancing in the rain. He wants a white and crazy life to take away his pain. Jay's always pulling on his brain. Jay Bird's coming out, dreaming of Blanco Loco. He'll pull his pants all the way down, dreaming of Blanco Loco. His dick is devil red, Jay's skin's color rojo. Jay is coming out, dreaming of Blanco Loco. Come on, dreaming of Blanco Loco. Come on, just living la vida homo. Jay woke up in a Newport Richie, in a funky cheap motel. Jay came out and spent his money, tried to learn some wrestling skills, but never drinks no water, only vodka and champagne. Once Jay had a taste of it, he's never been the same. Yeah, he'll show you his little brain. Jay Bird's coming out, dreaming of Blanco Loco. He will pull his pants down, dreaming of Blanco Loco. His dick is devil red, his skin the color rojo. Come on! Jay's living la vida homo. He wants to take Loco's mask off and go dancing in the rain. He wants a white and crazy life to take away his pain. Yeah, Jay's always pulling on his brain. Jay Bird's coming out, dreaming of Blanco Loco. He'll pull his pants all the way down, dreaming of Blanco Loco. His dick is devil red, Jay's skin the color mofo. He will blow you up with La Vida Homo. Jay Bird's coming out, he's dreaming of Blanco Loco. He'll pull his pants all the way down, dreaming of Blanco Loco. Living la vida homo, skin's the color rojo. Jay will wear you out, living la vida homo. Living la vida homo. Come on, he's dreaming of Blanco Loco. Blanco Loco, he's dreaming of Blanco Loco. Jay's dreaming of Blanco Loco. Suck it, Jay.
It's 3 in the morning. She said, will you come with me and run away? I said, baby, okay. So we packed our bags and we set out on the open highway. It doesn't matter if we're wrong or right, as long as you were right next to me tonight. It doesn't matter if we're lost or found, I know exactly what you're saying without making a sound. And it goes won't you be mine? Won't you be my ecstasy, my energy? Won't you be mine? Won't you be my remedy, my everything? Come on, baby, let's go. Let's hit the open road and show them all that this is how it's meant to be. That you and I together is our destiny, especially when it's jealousy attacking at our chemistry. That use it as their weaponry. And thankfully, I found the recipe to put an end to the unpleasantry. I've steadily become a specialty to love you endlessly. Let's try till we reach the point of heavenly, where our only enemy is our own negativity. Won't you be mine? Won't you be my ecstasy, my energy? Won't you be mine? Won't you be my remedy, my everything? Won't you be
person is the whole problem. Are we going to allow this guy to be heard by anyone who can turn a dial?
He's got a pirate radio station. Nobody knows who he is.
You out there? You listening?
I'm wondering, Dale. I wonder about that young boy Dale used to be. I'm wondering what might have happened to that little boy all those years ago that made him so closed up.
Where'd you get this?
Sean got it for me.
What?
It was a birthday present. Since I never got to wear it, I figured I'd finally try it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kevin Holly Show.
That you're modeling something.
You are currently listening to a bit of a show reel from our next guest, David Schifter. Before we get into that, he will be calling in here in a few minutes, and I just wanted to kind of play a little bit of his show reel so y'all can get familiar with the actor David Schifter. He was also a TV news correspondent for about 14 years, as well as an investigative reporter. Remember, we had Julianne Rehm on the show from Unsolved Mysteries. Well, David Schifter's been on a lot of shows as well, and I can't wait to talk to him about that. Before we do that, though, a quick show update. And again, thank you for listening to us on the IRN Internet Radio Network. Lionel Nation listeners, welcome back to the Kevin Holly Show. Thanks for sticking around. We've got Jaybird, we've got Pops live in the studio. Pat Shit Crazy took off looking for Homeless Chuck. Homeless Chuck.
He's MIA, man.
He's MIA. He walked out, man. He got mad. He got triggered. I guess he was mad that I was, from what I understand, I was trying to calm him down. He kept interrupting everybody, and I was giving him hand signals, and he just kept on talking. So
he was a little Chuck Shit Crazy.
Chuck Shit Crazy, man. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, hopefully he's well, and
I heard wheels screeching. I guarantee he walked right through 19.
Yeah, he's out there with the streetwalkers.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, maybe one of them picked him up, and he's homeless homeowner once again. Homeowner Chuck. I don't know what the hell happened, man. But I love Chuck, like a brother. So I know he's mad at me for trying to calm him down, so that we could actually interact with our guest in the first hour. But apparently that didn't work out so well.
Whoa! Wait! I just want to apologize to the fans because I don't have a computer tonight.
It's okay. You don't.
But that's I'm sorry. And
are you interrupting me?
No.
Anyway, so I was thinking about talking about.
So I'll have my computer next week. And
oh my God.
Sorry.
It's okay. All right, let it go. Let's all let it go. Out of sight, out of mind. Oh my God, Jaybird's throwing his headphones down, fluffing his hair. Are you triggered? Are you? Oh my God, Jaybird, calm down.
I'm fine.
Calm down, Jaybird.
Fine.
Calm down.
I'm fine.
All right. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm good. I'm better now.
Hey, you know what happened during the break? I would love to share this with our listeners, and hopefully this caller that called during the break is listening as well. We got a phone call while we were on break, and it was a listener, and I answered the phone professionally, Kevin Holly Show, whatever, and he said, hey, are you guys still live? And I said, well, we're on a break right now, but we're downstairs. What's going on? Who's this? And he said, that's not important. I just wanted to call and say that it's great to hear Pops on the show again. And so I put him on speaker and walked over to Pops, and he said, hey, Pops, it's great to hear you on the show. How cool is that? One of our listeners, dedicated listeners, who I have no idea who this gentleman is, called to basically say, welcome back, Pops. So welcome back, Pops.
Appreciate it. Really nice to know that somebody cares.
I think more
people... Oh, what are you saying? I don't care?
I think more people care than you might realize.
Pops, what are you saying? I don't care?
Hey, man.
Hey, I don't care. What are you saying? I don't care.
Stop interrupting, Jay. What's wrong with you?
If you didn't care, man, I would be in bad shape. If I didn't have you, I would be I would be Lord and whale shit.
Yeah, you'd be living it up at the nursing home, running shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Pops had like a gambling ring going on in there. How much did you make in rehab?
Yeah, how about it?
How much? Come on, he's not going to tell us.
Studio rent is due.
Yeah,
we got to keep the lights on, man. Would it kill you? On behalf of Shannon Berg and Robert DuChemin, our last guest, would it kill you, Pops, to pay for the studio rent once in a while?
Yeah, I know you probably made $2,000 in 3 weeks over there with your gambling ring you had going. He was hooking out the old ladies for hand jobs and stuff.
No. But I met a bunch of nice people, bunch of interesting characters. My last roommate, he was a piece of work. His name is Milton, and he's quite a guy.
I think we thought his name is Dementia Dan, but go ahead.
We had some real conversations.
That's cool.
One of his things is he's actually his wife and he were married for 56 years. And they have 4 kids, a boy, a girl, and then they have twins, a boy and a girl twins. I don't know. He says they aren't married, but she says they are. I don't. I'm saying if she did, I think that probably he's not sure, and she might not. She might say they are because they never were legally divorced or anything. But when you get to be their age, and he's my age actually, he was the same year as me, 33. But excuse me. They you have to do some weird things to survive, I mean, I don't know if they own a home or what the deal is. They came from
Jersey.
Yeah, it's about 45, 50 years ago, I guess. And they've been down here. All of their kids are here. They've got, I think, 10 grandchildren and 12 or 13 great-grandchildren. So they've got a family, and
so Dementia Dan went to go take a crap the other day and decided to strip down naked and run out into the halls.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think so. I mean, I thought about doing it while I was there when the one Cuban nurse was there, who I really love, but hope she's not listening tonight, because I still think I might have something there.
Was she a pressed Cuban? Thank you.
No, she was a good girl, though. She was very good for Pops.
Yeah, she did. I sang her the song.
Oh, okay.
When I fall in love, it'll be forever.
Do you want to sing it now?
Huh?
Do you want to sing a couple of bars of it?
Well, I'll sing the song. When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. In this restless world we live in, love is over before it's begun, and the magic of all those moonlight caresses is soon lost in the warmth of the sun. When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. And the moment when you feel that way too, is the moment when I'll fall in love with you. That got me a big hug and a kiss.
Hell yeah, man.
I just want every lady listening right now to realize that those genes that just sang that song ran through my blood. They run through my blood, so.
That's Jaybird, too, man. Jaybird's got it.
That's right.
Oh, man. Pops, thank you for that. That was fantastic, man. Oh, my God. The pipes on Pops.
This week, The Kevin Holly Show. Next week, American Idol.
The voice. Hell yeah, Pops, man. That's beautiful. Holy shit. Oh, my God. All right. So, guys, thanks again for listening to The Kevin Holly Show. We are live on the IRN right now for about another half an hour, and then you can catch us on Spreaker for the third hour, Spreaker.com. We have a chat room available. We've got Lori B in the chat room. We got Trucker Kathy in the chat room.
Hi, Kathy.
And, yeah, dude, she's saying clap, clap, clap. She's smiling now is what she said. You just made another woman smile, Pops.
Ooh, who's that?
Trucker Kathy. Trucker Kathy.
Oh, hi, Kathy.
I'll tell you what, Pops. When you make a truck driving girl smile, that means you've made it. So let's go ahead and welcome our second guest on this show here. I'm talking about the one and only David Schifter. David, are you there?
I am here.
How the hell are you, man?
Hey, I'm doing awesome. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic as well. You are live in the studio with Jaybird and Pops. Pops being an 83-year-old Korean War veteran, our head grip. Welcome to the show, man.
Well, thank you very much. And hey, welcome. I should say thank you for your service to your guest. I'm trying to.
I got caught in the draft, man. I got caught in the draft.
On this end with no. No luck. There we go.
Are you listening to our show right now?
Yeah, and
Awesome.
It's always confusing in tape delay. that 5-second delay.
Yeah,
I remember when I was a television reporter, we'd go live, and I'd have what was called an IFB in my ear, which I never understood what it stood for. IFB. I was in television news for 15 years. I still don't know what it stands for. But the producer would be talking to you, but you'd hear yourself talking, and sometimes if they didn't have it mixed right, you'd be delayed. So what you said what you were saying, you'd hear repeated seconds later. So it would slow your voice down because you were trying to catch up with yourself. Very confusing. Eventually, you just tore it out of your ear and kept going.
Yeah. That's kind of how our show is every week, man.
Awesome. Well, this will be fun then.
We try to keep it fun, my friend. It is a comedy-based show, full of hyperbole, as well as a little satire, a little parody, and of course, dick and fart jokes. So, if you can get over that,
awesome.
We also have a lot of love here, man. So
that is true.
Hey,
yeah,
awesome. I noticed you're out of Newport Richey, Florida.
That is correct, sir. Right here in the Dump Tower.
Jeez, I was just there.
No way.
Back and forth. I was working on a movie down there.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding. It's called The Lost, and it's a the director is Rick Danfield, or maybe Rick Danford, if you know him. And I was going back and forth, traveling back and forth to Florida 5 times between I think February and just a couple of weeks ago. Great little movie. Great movie. Very, very emotional. Probably my most emotionally charged scenes yet in my career as an actor.
You were local right here. Now, saying The Lost pretty much describes most of the drivers that migrate here from Canada.
Yes. New Yorkers sent them down, by the way.
Thank you, New Yorkers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hysterical, man.
That's what New York City does with its old population. They send them to Florida.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I know. I've been here almost 25 years now, and it's a regular occurrence here. U.S. Highway 19 is where our studio is located. Did you happen to go up and down 19?
I was staying on 19, actually. Yeah. Yeah, God, I wish I was there now. But we wrapped the movie a couple weeks ago. It's done.
Oh, man, that would have been
post-production.
Cool. I wish I could have been on the set. I would have had you sign an autograph. I would have brought you donuts or something, man.
Hey, I don't know if they would have gotten to me. The director, kind of portly. Kind of a portly guy.
Well, we're all portly here in the studio as well, so it's not a big deal.
Radio does that to you. I used to be. I actually. What was I going to tell you? Was when I was down in Florida, when I was down there back and forth, I ended up spending more than I made on this movie. I ended up buying a car and drove it back once. Not just a car, but a police car.
Awesome.
For one of your local departments. Yeah. I mean, fully equipped. The lights, the siren, the logos. They just took the city name off, but the whole thing. So driving back on 20 and then I think 95, people would stay about 8 car lanes behind me because they saw a police car ahead of them. No one dare pass the police car if they only knew.
Yeah, for the record, I did not sell you that car. I may have dabbled in auto sales before in my life.
Okay. No, but it was quite the event, actually, spending time down there. Made a lot of good friends. And actually we'll be spending more time down there because I landed a role in a series that's going to start up there in the fall.
Really?
Yeah, this is sort of a supernatural type of. I'm a paranormal investigator in it, and so that's going to be a lot of fun. But I'll be back and forth yet again to your humble town, and to Tampa in general.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're only about 30 minutes north of Tampa, northwest of Tampa. I was in Tampa all day today, so it's not very far at all.
No, very disappointed with one thing about Tampa. You have a place called Cigar City?
Yeah.
Ybor.
Yeah, I was expecting cigars. I really was. I was very disappointed to find out it was a beer place.
Yeah, well,
nothing wrong with beer.
No, of course not.
No, have some cigars with a name like Cigar City.
Dude, you just got to go down the street a little bit into like 7th Avenue in Ybor City.
Ybor City, yeah.
Yeah, and you're full of hand-rolled cigars. Also, Tarpon Springs, the Sponge Docks, a great place to get Nicaraguan and Cuban cigars. I'm not
okay. And Greek food.
And Greek food, yeah.
And Greek food. Okay,
like Greek
something
food?
to remember.
Yeah, dude. When you come back down next, look me up. I will take you on a personal tour of Tarpon Springs.
That'd be awesome.
He'll take you diving for sponges and then wash your back with it. So.
Well, you asked for fun, you got it.
Yeah, that would be it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking with David Schifter, an actor and also former news investigative reporter, not realtor, but reporter and also news correspondent. Let's dive right into it, David, if you don't mind. What was it like? Now, this is a career spanning about 15 years. I looked at your bio, like I always do, and I know you started off as a teenager and that kind of thing. But can you walk us through how you started off on TV?
It goes back to when I was like 13. I grew up in New York City, in Manhattan. And growing up, I bought a little Super 8 film camera. Film used to be something they used to make movies. That's all digital now. But bought this little camera, was making films with my friends and such, and I probably was on track to becoming a cinematographer. Well, as the years went by, I had the opportunity to host a show on cable television in New York called Spotlight on Teens. It was for, by, and about teenagers. We had celebrity guests. It was live every Friday night. It was awesome. Very experimental, but it was awesome. And because it was more of an interviewer type of show, I sort of became entrenched in news. And WNBC TV, News 4 New York, was my favorite channel. Chuck Scarborough, still to this day, is an idol to me. A news anchorman. He's been on the air there 40 years now. And I remember all of them. And I sort of wanted to be a little Chuck Scarborough. And grew up, went to college. I did the show for 4 years, Spotlight on Teens. Went to college, worked at a local television station, and they put me on the air as an intern. Got my first job out of college down in Bluefield, West Virginia. I spent a very, very long 6 months there, and moved on to Roanoke, Virginia. Became a consumer reporter there. Then Fresno, California as an investigative reporter. Cleveland, Ohio. CNBC, New York. Fox 5, New York. Nice. Channel 5 in New York. The Fox station. Yeah. And was investigating for most of my time at all these stations. Very, very fulfilling work investigative reporting is. Because you're not just, bless you. Because you're not just covering the aftermath of something. You're being proactive. Yeah. You're preventing something. You're stopping something. You're changing laws. You're putting people in jail in some cases. Bless you. And we did some very compelling reporting, and have an Emmy and a lot of statewide awards from various states to show for it.
Well, Mr. Schifter, you beat me to it. I was going to bring up the Emmy, which is totally cool. It says here in your bio you earned numerous awards, including 3 Emmy nominations and 1 coveted Emmy. That's totally awesome.
Yeah, I got it for a series I did while in Cleveland called, we called the series Deadbeat Dads, and I wish we came up with a better title. I know it's catchy and all, but there are as many female parents skirting their responsibility to their children than there are men. Yeah. So the fact we called it Deadbeat Dads is probably a little irresponsible, but it's catchy. It's TV catchy, But we chased this guy down who had went to work one day, never came home, had another life in Arizona. Left his 5 kids and his wife. Years later, all throughout the time on the run, his wife, knew where he was able to track him down, but the child support people never did a damn thing about it. So they let him get away with it. We found him. He, at that point, moved to Michigan. So we went up to Michigan with his oldest daughter and a little video player of all these messages from his younger kids saying, "Daddy, where are you? We miss you. You've left us." And we confronted him as the police arrested him. We had the cops arrest him on a warrant, and it was a tearjerker. It was a tearjerker. It was a 3-part series that turned into like 5 because there were more and more follow-ups. And
that definitely sounds like That would have to be fun, just doing that, to chase this dude down and put him on the spot would definitely be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Then there's the 80-year-old doctor who is writing prescriptions for sex.
I think I saw him a few times. We probably shouldn't talk about this, but no, Mr. Schifter, really, I did want to say one thing that you and Kevin have a lot in common, and that's that you started off with film, and Kevin started off with cassettes. When he was a young kid,
I did.
He used to record himself on a cassette recorder doing a radio show. And that's where the similarity ends, but there is some stuff in common there at least.
I see that, yeah. I did kind of the same thing too, Kevin. I would record radio DJs and jingles. I still to this day collect jingles. And I am not alone. Everyone thought I was crazy and, collecting jingles and news themes and such. But I've got thousands of news themes and jingle packages. And people thought, I was a crazy guy. But there are actually websites devoted to that.
No, it's true. I actually had my older brother had a video recorder that was an XLP 2000. He actually used cassette tapes like you would listen to. And it would record video on those cassette tapes.
Was it VHS?
No, it was like a really weird, like a Toys R Us machine. You know what I mean? And we used it all the time. I'd ride my BMX bike around with my friends, and we would videotape just random crap. But
the original GoPro.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But my brother's the one who championed it. All the older kids, and they made videos and movies that were so funny. And they're still on YouTube to this day. And one of them, this is hilarious, dude. One of them was like a movie, a short movie they made, and it was him and his friend, and the friend was laying in his bed, and it was like a horror movie where like his insides came out. I think they used spaghetti, something like that, and he recently put it on YouTube, and it got like 170,000 hits on it, right? And when you look at it, it's all not all of them, but the majority of the people that viewed that video were homosexuals.
Wow.
Yeah, they were like high school guys. So I always just give my brother the business on that. I think it's so funny. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, Mr. Schifter.
Yeah, that's another show altogether. Isn't it?
Altogether, yes. I do have a little bit of feedback already in our chat room, and Trucker Kathy says that you're cute. And you sound sexy, and she Googled you. So, yeah. How about that, man?
So repeat that so my girlfriend can hear.
Trucker Kathy says that you're cute, you sound sexy, and oh my God, she says I might eat him. Holy shit! Hold on, my fiance's in the chat room and says he's a cutie. Whoa!
Wow, he's still got it.
Wow, yeah, you are a handsome man. That's another thing that we do have in common. We both have green eyes and a full head of hair, which is great.
Yeah, you know what? And thank goodness for that. My father and his father and my grandfather, my mom's side, all have full heads of hair, so that's a good thing.
Oh my God, that's hilarious, man. So now, I did a little bit of research on you, of course, and we did have a short conversation before the show. And there's another movie that's coming out that you said was family friendly. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it is called The Rack Pack, and that's not the Rat Pack, but the Rack Pack, RACKPACK. And the Rack Pack is based on true events. It's based on a guy named Darryl Rackley, who growing up was an Army brat, and when we were younger, before video games, and even you, I know you were born in 75, but even you'll remember going outside and playing. Doesn't matter if you lived in the country or the big city. I grew up in New York City, still played outside. We went to the parks. We got into trouble, but we played outside. Today, people sit in their rooms playing on video games and on Facebook, and it's a shame, damn shame.
It is.
But they played Army and such. Well, what we've done, he wrote a book called The Rack Pack, which is about this group of kids all dressed in Army uniforms and such, out playing, having dirt bomb fights and such. And they come across a these three sort of bumbling bad guys, bumbling idiots. C. Thomas Howell, the actor, plays one of them, plays the leader of the pack.
Okay.
You remember him from The Outsiders,
Yeah.
and he was Ponyboy, and that's the most famous role probably. He was on the NBC police show, that LA police show, Southland. He played one of the officers on that. I mean, the guy's great. Instantly recognizable, and he came on board to play one of the roles. Well, these bumbling idiots, they find a map, a treasure map, and the kids follow them and such. It's a lot of fun. It's an adventure. It's there's not a single bad word in it.
Nice.
It's safe for the whole family, but a lot of fun for anybody who has ever been a kid. This movie will be for them. So that's going to come out. It's in post-production now. It's in the editing room, and we've got work to do on it, but it'll be out hopefully late this year. The other thing, I got cast in a series called Vaughn, Vaughn, and this show's kind of neat. It's about an actor from One Tree Hill, if you remember that show, on the WB network. His name is Vaughn Wilson. He was one of the supporting actors on the show.
One of my kids actually loves that show, and I'm a little on the fence whether or not she's old enough to watch it.
How old is she?
She's she'll be 12 next week.
Yeah, it's on the young side, but kids are developing these days. But this show is about an actor who spends money like he's making money, and he's really not. And he's going to lose his house. He's going to have to change his lifestyle. Well, I'm the guy who has to deliver that news. I'm his accountant, and I'm a regular on the show. I'm a recurring on the show, but I'm his accountant, and I'm trying to knock some sense into him, tell him, hey, you're not going to make it. You're going to have to sell the house and this. Got to get a roommate. So anyway, it goes on with that. We just shot the pilot. It got rave reviews at a showing. And it's going to be picked up by, my understanding, it's going to be picked up by Netflix and Roku. And
that would be great.
That'll be a lot of fun. And it shoots in Wilmington, North Carolina, where I live.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
It's but good times. Yeah. A lot going on. I always get sort of penned as the cop. I get a lot of law enforcement roles,
I've noticed.
a lot of military roles, and that's okay. Look, it all pays the same, but. But I like to play the other roles too, the emotional roles, and somebody with a if you're playing on Homicide Hunter, which is a great show by the way, it's on Discovery ID. If you're playing a detective, where were you the night of March 12th? It's kind of there's no depth to them, there's no depth to those roles.
Sure.
But if you're playing the corrupt cop, or you're playing the cop whose daughter is a school teacher and she's being held hostage at a school by a school shooter, well, then there's some depth and some texture to it. And I'm doing that role this summer.
And I'm imagining that's going to also be in Newport Richey, Florida.
That one's not. That one's in Joplin, Missouri. It's
awesome.
Called The Substitute because it's about a substitute teacher, the sergeant's daughter. I'm the sergeant, and who finds out while he's on a domestic call that his daughter is being held hostage across town at the local high school. So it's then he's got some decisions to make, and it's.
Dude, if I remember correctly, were you not like the main character on a show? Like I looked at your pictures, not as much as Trucker Kathy, but I did look at them, and I noticed that you were on a show that really rang a bell in my head, and I feel like I've watched it numerous times. I want to say it was on the ID channel or the investigative. What the hell is the name of that channel?
ID Discovery.
Yeah, it was about women who murdered their husbands or something like that.
Yeah, that was it. Which I've been on 4 shows on that network. One of my life goals is to be on every show on Discovery ID.
I'd like to be on one.
I'm trying to remember what was the name of that show. I forget these shows so easily. It's
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I know your bio is just chock full of all kinds of different roles that you've played. I'm trying to scroll through with this old laptop that I've got in the studio here, and I forget the name of it, but it was something like The Scorned Woman or something like that, man.
Scorned Woman, yes. Yeah, it's Scorned. Actually, it's hosted by Dr. Robbie Ludwig, who's a psychotherapist.
That's right. Yes, I knew this.
I actually gave her start in television. When I was a news director for a television station in upstate New York, Elmira, New York, WETM-TV, the NBC affiliate, I had her doing psychology reporting for us, which was a brand new kind of concept back then. And nobody had done it. Scorned, Love Kills.
That's
I think
it.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
I was a detective on that, yeah. And she hosts it. She's the sort of the play-by-play on it and talks about, people who kill their spouses, which is a popular thing, apparently.
Why is that, man? I tell you what, I will lay up in bed with my fiance Lori B., who's in the chat room, by the way, and again says that you're handsome, and you're taller than me.
Thank you.
Yeah, which
not by much, man. I'm no giant.
Well, there's going to be another episode, I think, tonight when I get home. But
oh no.
No, but seriously though, we watch that stuff all the time. We really enjoy it, and I want to say that the two of us have literally laid in bed and watched that show more than once. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's a popular show. All those shows. Homicide Hunter is the most popular show on the Discovery ID network. It follows the trials and the cases of a detective, or a lieutenant actually, named Joe Kenda, and I play I've started to recur on the show as Detective J.D. Walker. So I'm the partner of the main detective.
Gotcha.
And so whenever there's a case involving him, they bring me back to film that. I got to tell you, the Rack Pack film that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Think about it. Right now, there's for the last 10 years or so, people have been in love with the horror movies, and they'll never go away. They'll never go away. But there's a need now for family friendly and for something that isn't pansy like, but just fun and wholesome again. That reminds you of when the world was a more innocent place. I say that the world was a more innocent place, and I grew up in New York at a very seedy time when New York was a very, very seedy place. And now it's cleaned up, but think about it. Think about where the world has gone. We don't play outside anymore. We don't even talk. I remember, my kids are 20, or I should say, are 19 and 22 now. But they would sit in the car, 10 years ago, they'd sit in the back seat, and they'd text each other. They're sitting next to each other, and they're texting each other.
Yeah.
What happened to talking to each other?
Yeah, we talk about that on the show a lot. Like, when we were growing up, Jay-Bird and I are about the same age. We're in our 40s, and, we used to ride our BMX bikes and skateboards and vanish from town to town.
I got the scars to prove it.
Yeah, so do I, definitely.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, we've got a guy named Mike in the chat room that is asking about your acting job in the horror film The Artifact.
The Artifact. This movie this was one of the first things I did, really. First leads in a feature. It was about a couple, myself and the girl portraying my girlfriend. We were just out one day. We went to in the movie, of course, we went to an antique shop, and we come across this little object, and I kind of took a fancy to it, and I bought it. And the guy, behind the counter says, "Are you sure you want that?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You can have it." So I took it home, and it said the word Malik on it. And, I'm looking at it, I'm sort of fascinated by this little thing. It's maybe the size of a pen and as thick as maybe a bound 10 pence. When I say the word, what it does is it releases a spirit of somebody who's been trapped for 20-some-odd years. And now I have to do what he says, and that is a series of murders. And it's a very bloody movie, very, but here's the real fun fact. The girl who played my girlfriend in the movie, about 6 months later, we both got cast on a series called Whitaker Bay, and she plays my daughter in that.
No way. Really?
I was like 40-something, and she was 19, so
nice.
Score.
Dude, you've got two children that are the same range apart from each other as my kids. I've got a 9-year-old and an almost 12-year-old. So I can only imagine what it's like to have kids in real life that are 18 and 21, or
you'll find out.
You'll find out. That's awesome.
You know, they're always going to be your little girls.
Yeah.
They're always going to be your kids. But it's, I look at them now. Like I went paddleboarding, stand-up paddleboarding with one of my daughters last week, and we, went to the beach yesterday. I literally live at the beach here. Went to the beach yesterday, and I look at her, and it's like she's all grown up. She's 23. She's all grown up, and she's she's lived in Peru for a year. She lived in England for a semester. She lived in Sweden during college for a semester. The kid's growing up, and she loves to travel.
Man, that's gotta take so much out of the wind out of your sails, watching her grow up like that. But at the same time, it must make you feel like a success as a dad.
Yeah, I do. I do, and I'll tell you that the fact that she travels so much. I mean, she got that from her mother and I. Her mother's Swedish. I've traveled a lot, and we traveled with the kids, both of them together, since they were infants. And so they know the routine. They love to travel. They love to see new places. And I think she's going to spend her life, traveling and working. Of course, she's a psychology major, but loves to travel. The other one as well. The other one's still in school though, still in college.
Right on. Are they going to college in North Carolina with you, or?
Yeah.
Very nice, man. That's
now,
good.
Now the oldest one, Caitlin. There's Caitlin and Michaela. Caitlin is one who graduated. She will be attending grad school with, I have any say in it, the matter soon, by the end of the year, I believe. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
She's got to finish it.
Jaybird's got a question for you. Go ahead, Jay.
All right. Hey, listen, David, please don't hate me because I always bring this show down to a horrible level. And but this isn't horrible because I'm really trying to get Kevin globally, noticed. So I've been trying forever to do a secret sex tape with Lori B.
Good God.
But videotape it. But she has no interest in me. So evidently there's some attraction there. Would you be willing to help me out with this? A secret sex tape with Kevin's old lady, where we put it out through,
Okay. No, she hates to be
called
old lady.
But the thing is, you already blew it. It's no longer a secret.
There you go. Thank you.
Oh, man. No wonder we're going nowhere fast.
See what happened?
Oh, my God. Everybody's, oh, my God, in the chat room right now, too. That's great. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate
Sorry,
that.
chat room. I just,
we are talking with David Schifter, a wonderful actor over in North Carolina, and also a former news investigative reporter and news correspondent with a bunch of films coming out. David, how do people follow you on social media? How can they figure out the things that are coming down the pipeline?
Well, a couple of things. There's the IMDb website, the Internet Movie Database, imdb.com. That is the who's who of everything. If you ever wanted to know who that actor was in a movie, you go to that imdb.com, type in the search bar, type it in David Schifter, Schifter, and it'll come up with all my credits. And then you can click on those credits and find out who else I worked with and who else was in the movie and such. And it's a great resource for everybody. That's a place to go. I have a website, davidschifter.com. You can find me on Twitter at David Schifter. You're welcome to follow. I've been doing something on Facebook as well. If you want to go to Facebook, it's David Schifter. Now, don't be surprised if you find 3 or 4 different David Schifter profiles. Actually, were all created by me. They're not posers. But when Facebook first started back in 2007, I would, get these things. Your friends are on Facebook, create a profile. So I create a profile and forget about it. I wasn't interested at the time. And then I'd forget to log in. I couldn't figure out how to get back in. I'd set up another one. And I did this 3 or 4 times before getting it straight. So look for the one that's most current.
Okay, yeah.
And I'll be happy to add people as friends and such. But Twitter's a good place to follow me. I'm doing these 8 fun facts. Fun facts of the day. which, like today, fun fact number 8, I just started doing these just last week. Fun fact number 8 was when I was a reporter in New York, I covered what was called the New Sweden celebration, which was sort of the relationship between the United States and the country of Sweden. And it still goes on today, of course. Good, nice, wholesome country. But I met the King and Queen of Sweden.
No way.
And the young budding actor, I should say reporter at the time that I was, I quickly raised my hand and shout out a question. And the Queen looks at me and says, young man, wait your turn. So I got called out by the Queen of Sweden. So.
That's pretty awesome. Jaybird gets called out by queens on a daily basis, but it's a different story,
I see.
David, I got to ask you, through your reporting, did you ever run into Rachel Maddow?
No, but she was in the news, put herself in the news today, didn't she? No, I never met her. I did work for NBC stations. I believe she's with MSNBC.
Yeah.
But I did not, and I worked for CNBC for a while, but that was before her time.
Because I would love to just put my hands around her neck. Well, probably shouldn't say what I want to do right now. It's being recorded. So,
hey, David, is there anybody during your career in the news that really triggered you, or that maybe muted you, didn't let you finish a sentence when you were making a point, or anything like that really pissed you off?
I don't think so. Are you going to try to be the first? I don't think so. I guess
CNN or MSNBC, it doesn't matter the venue, but they'll have a guest on as a correspondent, and that guest sometimes will make a point that is not going along the same grains as their subject matter, and they'll quickly cut them off. And I was just curious if that ever happened to you. You seem like a really nice guy, though.
You need to be asking if he's ever done that.
Yeah, that would really be the question.
Right.
Have I ever done that? And the answer is no. And it's crazy. We now are referring to things, and it'll become a Webster's Dictionary edition next year. Fake news.
Yeah, right.
I have never, in all the years that I reported, never made anything up. I mean, of course, you look for the wow factor, but you don't make it up. I never did it, and I honestly can tell you, I don't think anybody in the White House press corps is making up the news. Now they might look for the alternate fact. Is that another term that will be in the Webster Dictionary? They might look for alternate angles, but they won't make up a story. I mean, now there are outlets, as we've seen on, pop up on Facebook. They look like legitimate news sources that are fake, and they do make up, and they do try to sway the masses one way or the other. So you really have to check out the facts. You really have to, before you start sharing posts and such. You really do have to check it out. But no one I ever knew made up a news story. I certainly never did.
All right, David. Final question for you. I don't want to keep you up all night.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, I could talk all night. I really could. Who is your favorite person that you've ever worked with, whether it's in your news career, your acting career? Who is your favorite all-time celebrity, if you will, that you've interacted with?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't had the chance to act with the actor who I'm going to say is the one I would really love to work with, and that's Jack Nicholson. And quite honestly, I have heard that he's retired now, that he's having trouble with the memorization of the dialogue, and that's public knowledge. And that's a damn shame, because I've always wanted to meet him. I've worked with a lot of great actors, a lot of good actors. So that's my story for film or for acting. As a journalist, it was always Chuck Scarborough. I mentioned him early on in the conversation. Chuck Scarborough, WNBC New York, was always. And actually, when I did my show on cable, Spotlight on Teens, back in the '80s, I interviewed him and always, sort of saw him as my my idol for news anchormen, news anchors. So yeah, I give it all to him, for prompting me into a television news career, and subsequently I Jack Nicholson, is as crazy as he comes across. He's brilliant. Now, another one, James Spader is amazing. Kevin Spacey is amazing. Dustin Hoffman, I met him on the set of Kramer versus Kramer. I was in school. I was 13 years old. Yeah. They were filming across the street from my school, and I went outside after the show, after my classes, and I went over and I asked him for an autograph. He was in the middle of, they were setting up the next scene, and he was standing out on the sidewalk, and he was actually picking his nose. and I asked him for an autograph. He said, "No, I'm busy." And I always look back at that. Yeah, he's busy picking his nose.
That's hysterical.
And apparently, someone has called him out on that before, and he has a problem with that. He actually has addressed it at an award ceremony that he has to stop doing that because he does it a lot. It's kind of funny. He laughs at himself now, but he's a brilliant actor too.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, man. That's kind of why I asked you that. I like to kind of pick people's brains when we have guests on the show. And
bad pun.
Pick their brains.
Well, I think you picked the winner tonight.
Holy crap. All right, David Schifter, everybody. Listen, David, thank you so much for calling into the show. And we are up against another hard break. So we're going to come back and close out the show here in a few minutes to take our last break.
Hey, guys, I've had a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. Do check out the Rack Pack when it comes out. And there is a website, therackpack.com, therackpackmovie.com as well.
Hell yeah, there you go.
We'll do, and we'll promote it all the way, too. So
yeah, awesome.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, David. I really appreciate it. Hope to talk to you again soon, man. Good luck to you.
Yeah, and I'll let you know when I'm down there again.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I'll take you on that tour for real.
All right.
Tarpon Springs, Florida, baby.
So much.
Thanks, David. David Schifter, everybody. All right. Wow. All right, guys, we'll be right back with more of the Kevin Holly Show. We'll close out the third hour here in just a couple of minutes. Special thanks to David Schifter as well as Robert DuChemin. We'll be right back, Jaybird.
Just like say, me and Pops are probably going to be leaving, so Kevin, I'm going to have to leave it in your hands. I'm sure you'll do a brilliant job.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody, it was good to be back. Pops, we're getting ready to leave. You want to say goodbye to everybody?
You want to say goodnight to everybody, Pops?
Good night to everybody.
There you go. Pops is a little tired. You've got to remember, Pops is fresh off of rehabilitation, and thank you so much, Pops, for coming into the show tonight. It was a pleasure to see you again. Oh, my God, I love you, man. Thanks so much, dude.
Wrapped out here, but I'm
you're fine, man.
slapping out.
You look tired, so we're going to take care of Pops here and come back with the third hour here in the Kevin Holly Show. Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll be right back.
You are listening to the Kevin Holly Show. The Kevin Holly Show. The Kevin Holly Show.
Hey. Hey, Beavis. Yeah. Yeah. What do you want? I was, listening to a show today. Yeah. Yeah. It was, called the Kevin Holly Show. It was, pretty cool and stuff. They were talking about naked chicks and things. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Hey, Beavis, you should listen. What do you listen to it on? You listen to it on the radio, dumbass. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Get it on the radio. Radio. Shut up, dillweed. Listen to the Kevin Holly Show and just shut up.
Out the haters
of Miami-Dade County, it is your right to know the names and likenesses of sex offenders living in your area. As a public service, we have created this videotape so that you and your friends and family can stay aware, stay safe, and maybe even have a little fun. Enjoy.
State of Florida has asked us to disclose our sexual crimes to you. We were bad, but now we're good. We're moving into your neighborhood. You know we're trying our best to be functioning members of society. We're not here to start no trouble. We're legally required to do the sex offender shuffle.
I'm Larry Arthauer, and I'll refrain from touching my neighbor's kids again. What I did was not too kind, but I'm a nice guy, you'll come to find. I've got a backyard and a real nice pool. Y'all should come over for a barbecue. We can make some cold drinks in my blender, but do keep in mind that I'm a sex offender.
Vernon Douglas is my name. My battery arrest is what brought me fame. But there's much more to know about me. I love to dance and I love to ski. I zip and zoom on through the snow. Just strap on my boots and watch me go. But I can't ski until December. Till then I'm just a sex offender.
I'm Charles Dolan, dropping rhymes. I've been arrested 7 times. I know that sounds like a lot. 3 of those times were for vandalism. Feel real bad, I got caught. Might do it again, probably not. I'm not here to make pretenses. I'm here because of my sex offenses.
I'm Sam Pound, I'm number 1. Apologizing for what I've done. In case you were wondering what that was, I snuck into a bathroom and I eat no truffles. I'm just here to do the sex offender shuffle.
Hey everybody, I'm Laura Hughes, proving girls can do it too. And by it, I mean touch your cousin. Was it worth it? No, it wasn't. You won't find me in your child's playset, cause I gotta wear this ankle bracelet. I'm not here to go on a bender, I'm here because I'm a sex offender.
Last name Bermholt, first name Mark. I'm moving in somewhere on your block. Not in a house, but in a van. If you need me to move it, I sure can. The last thing I want is any trouble. I've learned my lesson from the sex offender shuffle.
I'm the one they call Arthur Chase. They said I didn't have to show my face. My first trial ended in a hung jury. If I'm found guilty, they'll unblur me. I'm not the necrophiliac Arthur Chase. That's a different Arthur Chase. I'm not here to be my own defender. I'm here because I'm possibly a sex offender.
Okay, real quick, I'm not like these people. Okay, this is an extortion plot by my ex-wife, who's the only witness, and she's trying to take away my kids. And I'm not here to pack my duffel. I'm just here to do the sex offender shuffle.
State of Florida has asked us to disclose our sexual crimes to you. We were bad, but now we're good. We're moving into your neighborhood. We're obliged to admit the crimes for which we were convicted. We're not here to start no trouble. We're legally required to do the sex offender shuffle.
Hi, this is Sharon Buckles. I am the dominatrix Selena Krause from the upcoming Scorpion Girl, and I am happy to be on the Kevin Hawley Show.
Please, don't you fuck my goat. Don't fuck my goat, cause I don't want my goat to be fucking anyhow. Please, don't you fuck my goat, no, cause I don't want my goat to be fucking now.
And now for more stereotypes that are obviously not true.
We don't like tennis shoes, we wear sandals, and yet we have sex with goats and ride camels. I live in the desert in Abu Dhabi, so I squat behind a cactus when I have chupati. Roll your tongue on the R's, whoops, drop the bomb, Allahu Akbar. I played the flute and snakes come out the jaws. I caught a flight plane, didn't get far. And you might not believe it, man, but during the winter I ski in sand. And the TSA was like, man, how did you get out of Iraq? Iran, damn.
Watch out.
Rashid's got a bomb.
Watch out.
Abdul-Jabbar got a bomb.
Watch out.
Amir's got a bomb.
Watch out.
Malcolm X got a bomb. I'm a billionaire. Check my Equifax. Always wearing turbans and bedsheet hats. An Arabian day in the life. See, I have 10 leashes, one for each wife. And I have 10 bombs, one for each flight. That I put my wives on, they speak without permission. Then, mommy, look, there's a plane in the air. And I swear, it was just there. We're all Muslims, Salam, and we all live in a cave, Saddam, where we all eat lots of hummus, yum. My first website was thebomb.com. And you might not believe it, man, but during the winter I ski in sand. And the TSA was like, man, how did you get out of Iraq? Iran, damn.
Watch out.
Hussein got a bomb.
Watch out.
Ramir Rashid got a bomb.
Watch out.
Obama got a bomb.
Watch out.
Osama bin Laden got a bomb. Well, not anymore. Don't touch my hat, it's sacred. I can make all my wives get naked. I have a phobia, I'm afraid of bacon. You need RPG, I can make it. We own mini mobs and gas stations, but people buy beer to get wasted. Like 9/11 victims, I take
Whoa, dude, you don't, you don't say that. Wasted like 9/11 victims? Fuck no, we don't say that shit in America. You might say that shit over in Lebanon, Afghanistan, wherever the fuck you from, but in America, you get your ass killed out here, boy.
I'm sorry.
Take that shit out the lyrics. Right now, before I shove a cactus up this sandy ass.
I'm
right now, I ain't playing.
Okay,
Shit.
I'm erasing it. I erased it.
Throw that damn falafel in the trash and focus.
It's gone, sir. I'm sorry.
Cue the goddamn music.
As the world waits for my plans to unfoil, during spring I jet ski on oil, and I bombed all sorts of different places, and the TSA is the most racist. They be like,
watch out.
Rashid's got a bomb.
Watch out.
Abdul-Jabbar got a bomb.
Watch out.
Amir's got a bomb.
Watch out.
Malcolm X got a bomb.
Watch out.
Hussein got a bomb.
Watch out.
Ramir Rashid got a bomb.
Watch out.
Obama got a bomb.
Watch out.
Osama bin Laden got a bomb.
شما دارین گوش میدین به کوین هالی شو. شما دارین گوش میدین به کوین هالی شو. شما دارین گوش میدین به برنامه کوین هالی.
This podcast coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got a bag 'cause I'm not brown. And I'm the other color, so my co-hosts think they have the authority to talk for the majority. Fuck that shit, 'cause I ain't the one for a homeless motherfucker with a mic and some puns to be beaten on. He's really pale, he can go blow Joe in the middle of a sale. Fucking with me, 'cause I'm a broadcaster. With a co-host who's drunk and plaster. Jay's sitting in his car, listening to a podcast, thinking every wigger is busting a podcast. You never see me in the pen or Pop's Jim Nall walking Chuck's dogs. Beat a podcast out of shape, and when I'm finished, bring the yellow tape to take off the scene of the slaughter and keep homeless Chuck away from your daughter. I don't know if Jay's a fag or what, patting Kevin down and showing his nuts, and on the other hand, homeless Chuck, he never gets none, not from a black or a white woman, 'cause he falls down on the street top. Homeless Chuck solicits sex from a black cop. Gabriel will swarm on any motherfucker with a gold microphone. Just because I'm from Newport Richie, punk podcasts are afraid of me. A young wigger on a warpath, and when I'm finished, it's gonna be my podcast with Pops, Homeless Chuck, and Jay. Yo, Jay, I got something to say. Fuck this podcast. Fuck this podcast. Fuck this podcast. Fuck this podcast. podcast. Yeah, fuck this podcast. Fuck you, Camden. Fuck you, Jay. Fuck you, homeless Chuck. What's up, Pops? Yeah. What's up, Pops? Yeah. Fuck this podcast.
After the happy hour, drop your cocks and grab your socks. It's the Kevin Holly Show on the Internet Radio Network. Es el tiempo para más de la Kevin Holly Show. Goal!
Dead puppies. Dead puppies. Dead puppies aren't much fun. They don't come when you call. They don't chase squirrels at all. Dead puppies aren't much fun. My puppy died late last fall. He's still rotting in the hall. Dead puppies aren't much fun. No, no, no. Mom says puppy's days are through. She's going to throw him in the stew. Dead puppies aren't much fun. Dead puppies, dead, 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 dead puppies, dead Everybody out there, sing along, okay? Dead, 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 dead puppies. Dead, 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 dead puppies. Dead puppies aren't much fun. One more time for Roman Ruska.
Welcome back to the Kevin Holly Show. What in the butt?
This radio person is the whole problem. Are we going to allow this guy to be heard by anyone who can turn a dial?
He's got a pirate radio station. Nobody knows who he is.
You out there? You listening?
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Kevin Holly Show. I'm your host, Kevin Holly, and I'm alone in the dump tower. Aside from the rappers down the hall, it's just me and any other kindred spirits that might be here as well. I am very excited about the interview with David Schifter. That was really cool. Had a lot of fun with that. He's a really cool guy. If you missed it, check out the second hour of the Kevin Holly Show. You are now listening to the third hour of the Kevin Holly Show. We're going to cut a little short. We did go a little long. And, a couple of updates for you. Homeless Chuck walked out of the show during the first hour. He was triggered. He was mad. He didn't like how I was giving him hand signals, telling him to, just kind of calm down. I guess he was, interrupting like he usually does on the show. And he's mad at me. He unfriended me on Facebook. But then sent me a friend request, so maybe that's his way of extending the olive branch. He does work in a Greek restaurant. So, I did accept. I am now friends with Homeless Chuck once again on Facebook. I hope he's not mad at me, Chuck, if you're listening. I love you, man. Just trying to calm you down, dude. Can't have you talking over everybody, Love to hear you. Got some pipes, bro. But geez Louise, man. Also, Jaybird and Pops took off a little early. Normally they stick around for the third hour, but as to be expected, Pops did break his hip a few weeks ago and was in rehabilitation for the last couple of weeks, and he got tired, so he didn't want to have Pops falling asleep in his chair. And but thank God he was here. That was so cool. We actually did get a call during our first break with a cool listener. I don't know who he was. He said that's not important. He just wanted to say hi to Pops, welcome him back to the show, which I thought was fantastic. It was really cool. So, mystery listener out there, thank you for that phone call. That really did mean a lot. We really appreciate you calling in and saying hello to Pops and welcoming him back to the show. That was really, really cool. Seriously, that was quite awesome. Also, Robert DuChemin, attorney to the stars, calling us up in the first hour was really, really cool. I hope to have Mr. DuChemin back on the show regularly, maybe once a month, maybe every other week, whatever he wants to do. He has some very, very insightful thoughts on current events, politics, as well as the law of the land. Being a top-notch attorney, that's DuChemin Law. Check him out on Facebook. Check him out on Twitter. Probably just on Facebook. Listen to the first hour. He gave out the phone numbers and his personal contact information as well. So if you have any legal questions, definitely hit up our friend from Winter Haven, Mr. Robert DuChemin, of star status from the epic radio show, The Shannon Burke Show. Now, Shannon Burke is one of my radio heroes. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your opinions are on radio hosts. Shannon Burke, to me, is one of the best at his craft, by far. Hands down, probably my favorite. Used to listen to the old Shannon Burke Show podcast when he was in between AM radio in Atlanta. FM radio in Atlanta and the afternoon slot that he had here in Tampa Bay on 102.5 The Bone, which I thought was fantastic with Soul Brother Kevin, back in the day. That was a great show. So that's how I learned about who Robert DuChemin was. He used to sit in on the Shannon Burke show and answer legal questions. Fantastic guest, fantastic person, fantastic show. So if you listen to the Shannon Burke show, you probably will hear some, combinations of different things that I've learned from his show as him being one of my heroes on the radio. So shout out to Shannon Burke, and thanks again to Mr. Robert DuChemin for calling in. David Schifter as well, totally awesome guest, an actor, and also former news correspondent and TV investigative reporter. Check out his irnbd.com profile. Just Google him. That's all you got to do. Also, you can Google us, The Kevin Holly Show. You can download our app. Yeah, we do have a free app. It's in the Android Google Play Store for Android devices. It is free, and it is very, very small. It only takes a moment for you to download it, and we do not ask you for permission to see your photos or your contacts or any of that baloney that you get with different apps when you characteristically download those kinds of apps. We don't have that. It's just a simple app that will link you to our live feed and our Twitter, our email, and things of that nature. So it's very cool. Download the Kevin Holly Show app. Also, listen to us live Wednesday nights starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the IRN Internet Radio Network, irnbroadcast.com. Also on Tunein Radio, the Tunein app, also available. Look at our Facebook page. It's simply facebook.com/The Kevin Holly Show. And you can, from that page, get all of our links, all of our guests' links, pictures, videos, all kinds of good stuff. You can also download the TuneIn app. You can download the IRN app. You can do all that good stuff. If you go on to TuneInRadio.com, or if you have the TuneIn app, simply type in the IRN. And it's the second one that pops up, Internet Radio Network. And you can listen to us live on Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We follow Lionel Nation. How awesome is that? I am so honored to follow the Lionel Nation show. So again, thank you, Lionel Nation fans, for sticking around on the IRN and listening to the first 2 hours of the Kevin Holly Show. That really means a lot to us. I hope you enjoyed it. I know we had a little bit of a hiccup with Homeless Chuck during the interview with Mr. DuChemin, but that's going to be rectified and should not happen again. I think Chuck probably calmed down a little bit and figured out, that you can't talk over the guests and the co-hosts during the show. That being said, also on Spreaker.com, we have a chat room available. It is the elite listeners that interact with us in our chat room on Spreaker.com/The Kevin Holly Show. So simply Google The Kevin Holly Show and all these things will pop up. The main page would be our Facebook page. I do respond to every single one of you. If you message me or if you make a comment or any of those things, I'm more than happy to add you as a friend. Also, there is a closed group on Facebook called The Kevin Holly Show Fun Page. Not a fan page, but a fun page. And that is where pretty much anything goes, as long as it's not going to be too racist or attacking children or anything like that. That's a fun place. We've got almost 400 members on that right now on that page. So hit me up. Ask to be added to the page, or if you have a friend that's already on that page, they can add you as well. And it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of interaction there, so it's good times. Good times had by all. Anyway, to close out the third hour here, we've got a lot of time left. I would like to get into one of my favorite segments on the Kevin Holly Show as I roll solo here. Pat Shit Crazy went and picked up Homeless Chuck after he walked out and took him home. Pat Shit Crazy's making his way back to beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida. And Jay took Pops home, so it's just me. And let's just get right into one of my favorite segments, the news on the Kevin Holly Show.
Scratch that itch.
Whoa, that's not the news. That's the new intro. Oh, whoa, ladies and gentlemen, what have I done? Have I messed up the board? Have I? I don't think I have, really. But I do love to hear Lori B's voice saying, scratch that itch and slap that bitch. It's always time for the Kevin Holly Show, but let's get right into the news segment.
It's time for the Kevin Holly Show News, featuring Jay, Pops,
Homeless Chuck, and Kevin Holly, where you'll hear more about news, a little bit more information about what's in the news, and what's new with the news on the Kevin Holly Show.
All right, let's get right into it. Out of Chalk Hill, Pennsylvania. Why is it always Pennsylvania on the Kevin Holly Show? According to the Associated Press, authorities say a drunken driving suspect who was chased by police from Maryland into Pennsylvania identified herself as the one, the only, Hillary Clinton. Yep, Pennsylvania State Trooper Robert Politowski. Really? A Politowski in Pennsylvania? Anyway, he says the woman was arrested early Tuesday, but she's actually 36-year-old Holly Lynn Donahue. That's Holly Lynn Donahue of Louisville, Kentucky. She was being chased by sheriff's deputies from Garrett County, Maryland, and Maryland State Police when she drove into Wharton Township in Pennsylvania, Fayette County. But Politowski? He's so polite. He's such a nice guy. Politowski. I'm going to call him Politowski. Politowski joined the chase and used spike strips to flatten Donahue's tires. She was taken to a hospital where police say she refused drugs and alcohol testing. I just can't speak tonight. So she's been jailed on charges including driving under the influence and fleeing or eluding police. Holly Donahue doesn't have an attorney. Maybe she should call Robert DuChemin. Her preliminary hearing is set for May 9th. It's unclear why she identified herself as Hillary Clinton. The story has been corrected to show that Donahue was chased by deputies from Garrett County, not Garrett County. Okay. I'm really glad they cleared that up. But seriously, folks, if you get pulled over, don't tell the officer that if you're going to make up a name, don't make up a name like Hillary Rodham Clinton. That's ridiculous. Everybody knows who Hillary Clinton is. You're not going to fool a cop and make him believe you're Hillary Clinton. I think she's probably, just a little, Anyway, so that happened. Also in the news, I don't know if you guys like to go golfing. I love golfing. I mean, I'm not very good at it, but I love to go golfing. In Westerly, Rhode Island, police say a rabid fox, that's right, folks, a rabid fox, repeatedly, not just once, but repeatedly attacked a golfer on his second hole at a Rhode Island country club. That's right, the Westerly Sun, which is a hugely popular news publication there in that giant state of Rhode Island, reports the fox came charging from the woods and bit the golfer's pants. April 28th. How did I say August? At the Winnipesaukee Country Club in Westerly. The man used a club to push the animal away, but the fox kept attacking. Now, maybe he should not have used a club. Maybe he should have used the ball catcher. I don't know. Just get that fox right by the nuts. Anyway, the fox kept attacking. The golfer injured the animal's leg on the second attack. After a third attack, police say the golfer struck the fox in the head with his club. The animal was dead when officers arrived. Officers with the Department of Environmental Management and Animal Control took the fox from the course for rabies testing. Test results returned Tuesday evening and confirmed the animal was indeed rabid. Wow. So this dude got attacked not once, not twice, but 3 times a golfer, and probably has contracted the rabies virus. It's a virus, right? Pretty sure it is. So that's got to suck. I would have probably taken out like my 9-iron, because in my opinion, the 9-iron is a nice short club with a nice wedge to it, a nice pitch to it, great for lifting a ball, and easily swingable. And I probably would have just taken him out in the first attack, But there's no telling how old this gentleman was. Maybe he was not as physically fit as your host, Kevin Holly, is. I am quite the stud, so I probably would have killed that fox on the first strike. Also, in the news, Jeb Bush is optimistic. That's right, Jeb Bush, former governor of Florida, brother to your ex-president, George W. Bush, son of George Bush Sr. Jeb Bush is optimistic. Do you want to know why? Because he and Derek Jeter, that's right, Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees, also a Tampa resident, they can close a deal for buying something together. That would be the Florida Marlins, the Miami Marlins, I should say. That's right. In Miami, Jeb Bush says he is optimistic. He can close a deal to buy the Miami Marlins with his partner, Derek Jeter, taking charge of baseball operations despite stiff competition. Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred says the two groups remain in the mix. There's two groups that remain in the mix. The second bid is led by Tag Romney, son of former Republican presidential nominee Mitt Romney. Now, why are all these politicians trying to buy the Miami Marlins? What the hell's up with that? Bush spoke publicly Tuesday for the first time about his efforts to purchase the team from Jeffrey Loria. He said he's excited about the interest among people that are potential partners. The former Florida governor, who lives in Miami, made his comments during a discussion at the Milken Institute Global Conference in Los Angeles. Romney has yet to speak publicly about the bid by his group, which includes Hall of Fame pitcher Tom Glavine. Y'all might remember Tom Glavine from the Atlanta Braves staff that won their division, I think, a record 15 years in a row, much of which was under the pitching of Tom Glavine and two other baseball greats, my hero, Greg Maddux, favorite Chicago Cub of all time, and another guy you may remember who's a big-time golfer, John Smoltz. So that happened. I'm not really sure if that's going to really be a thing. I would imagine it would be. I mean, Derek Jeter is loaded, and Jeb Bush can just push buttons, so that might happen. You might have the Bush Marlins. I don't know. Is that Bush League? Does that mean it's Bush League? Are they going to play Bush League shit? Jeb Bush is going to be the owner of the Miami Marlins? Are they going to start hitting batters, throwing beanballs? Are they going to start sliding to second base hard, playing Bush League stuff? I don't know. But we'll see what happens. Also, in the news, one of my favorite people, Mr. DuChemin, posted something on Facebook that I'd love to read to you all. It's about Baltimore and Chicago. We touched base on this during the show. That's the only reason why I'm reading it without his permission. Baltimore elected unqualified people to lead their city just like Chicago. Then they appointed stupid political cronies to run the prosecutor's office just like Chicago. Then they refused to support their police just like, you guessed it, Chicago. Then they prevented police from using tactics considered politically incorrect just like Chicago. Finally, they imposed strict gun laws which prevent regular citizens from carrying firearms just like sweet home Chicago. So guess who is challenging Chicago for the highest murder rate in America this year? You guessed it, Baltimore. I wonder why. So, that being said, I also have a segment on the show that I don't have any lead-in or bumper music for yet. It's kind of new, and nobody else really brought anything to the table except myself. I guess people were scared to bring this up, but it's called Facebook Saved. I could probably pull something up to introduce this new segment called Facebook Saved. This will probably work. Facebook Saved. This is where we go into each other's phones live on the radio, in studio, and look at what these cronies saved on their Facebook. And since I'm the only one here, I will go ahead and confess everything I've saved on, well, not everything, but the things that I have saved in my Facebook app on my phone. And here we go. I've got it right here, saved. All right. An Arizona woman discovers a note from a Chinese prisoner in a purse she bought from Walmart. Now, this reminds me of what Don Pontius, host of the radio show In Case of Emergency, radiochaos.net, said was comparable to the old, help me message in a fortune cookie. Yeah, this Arizona woman discovers a note from a Chinese prisoner in a purse that she bought at Walmart. According to FoxNews.com, a woman in Arizona said she made a stunning discovery inside of a new purse that she bought at a Walmart. A note apparently written by a desperate prisoner in China. Laura Wallace found the message, written in Chinese, tucked inside the zipper compartment of the purse that she purchased at a Sierra Vista Walmart. Wallace had a Chinese-speaking person translate the note to English. The letter read, and I quote, "Inmates in Yingshan Prison in Guangzhou, China, are working 14 hours daily with no break, no rest, at noon, and continue working overtime until midnight, and whoever doesn't finish his work will be beaten. Their meals are without oil. There's no oil in their food? Are you kidding me? Jaybird would be triggered. No olive oil in the food? Oh my God. And there's also no salt." Sounds like Michelle Obama's school choice program for food to, combat obesity in children. No oil, no salt. Sounds healthy to me. Their meals are without oil and salt, but every month the boss pays the inmate 2,000 yuan. Any additional dishes will be finished by the police. If the inmates are sick and need medicine, the cost will be deducted from the salary. Prison in China is unlike prison in America. Horse, cow, goat, pig, dog literally means inhumane treatment. Two other people translated the note to make sure the message was accurate. Read the full story on foxnews.com. So apparently that really happened. Not fake news. Not faux news. Wow. What else did Kevin Holly save on his Facebook app? Here you go. A greasy trucker dies. Wow. A greasy trucker dies. Why would I save this? Well, let's delve right into it. A greasy trucker dies during a gay trucker orgy at at I-80 truck stop. Are you kidding me? Okay, an 18-year-old from Mechanicsville? Is this real? From React365.com. It may not be real. It looks real. Anyway, an 18-year-old from Mechanicsville passed away this last weekend as a result of what is known as a soup kitchen in the sleeper of a Western Star at the world-famous Walcott truck stop. And that's all it says. Well, I'm really glad I saved that. That's garbage. All right. That's crap. How about this one? I have 2 chihuahuas at home. Yeah, I do. Buddy Holly and Milo. A man was arrested for raping chihuahuas, and he received 10 years in prison. In Sacramento, California. How? Really? Sacramento? Come on, people. A man convicted of sexually assaulting a chihuahua was ordered to serve 10 years in prison and register as a sex offender upon his release. Prosecutors say that Robert DeShields, 55 years old, is a wheelchair-bound parolee and chronic methamphetamine user who sexually assaulted the small dog named Shadow. The official charge is felony cruelty to animals, which is why DeShields' defense attorney objected to the judge's decision to make DeShields register as a sex offender. Shadow survived severe internal injuries, you think, with the help of surgeons, and now lives with a county shelter employee, according to published records. Shadow is a victim in every sense of the word. Yeah, well, is the maximum 10-year sentence the right call? What do you guys think? What about having him register as a sex offender? Do you think that's the right call? I mean, I personally think they should castrate him. Why go through the litigation process? Why not just kill that guy? I mean, who rapes a freaking chihuahua? I mean, I'm sorry I brought it up. I'm sorry I saved it on my Facebook app as well. Okay, on a lighter note, this one, I read this one to my mom. She really enjoyed it. This is from urbanleak.com. A woman was arrested for masturbating with a sausage in a Walmart bathroom. That's right, you heard that right on the Kevin Holly Show. A woman was arrested for masturbating with a sausage in a Walmart bathroom. Wow, she's beautiful. Police are calling this the strangest crime of 2017. A woman was seen on closed-circuit television cameras stealing pork sausages from the discount food section in Walmart. Shoppers then see her running into the woman's toilets where she stayed for at least 20 minutes. The security staff decided to investigate, and as they entered the toilets, it just sounds funny, they entered the toilets, they were shocked to discover the woman was pleasuring herself with the pork sausages. Well, the head of security said, "I could not believe what I was seeing. When I asked her to stop what she was doing, She just looked me straight in the eyes and continued to victimize the stolen sausages. Now sausages are victimized. They need a safe space. That's definitely not in that woman's vagina. Due to the fact that she was a big girl, we decided it was best we ring the police to deal with this matter. So it took 4 police officers around 35 minutes to restrain the woman who was shouting at the top of her voice, "Leave me alone! I can do what I want in private!" Well, she was arrested and charged with shoplifting and indecent exposure. She was later released on bail but failed to show up to court, and now there is a warrant out for her arrest. I have a feeling I know where you'll find her. Maybe in the bathrooms of a Walmart near you. Walmart spokesman Barry Cartwright said, "It is against Walmart policy to take any items of property into the toilets for personal or private use. We take this very seriously, and we have banned this woman from all Walmart stores in the country." Okay, so you banned her, so she's not allowed in Walmarts anymore. But she was already in a Walmart masturbating with a fucking pork sausage. Do you think that banning her from a Walmart's really going to stop her? Unbelievable. So, due to the nature of this crime, we ask all members of the public to share this article and keep an eye out for this woman in shopping stores near you. Wow. I mean, that's a scare tactic right there to keep you watching the news. You know, be on the lookout for a big fat girl that's going to put pork sausages up her vagina in the toilets of a Walmart near you. I'm scared, honestly. All right. On a more serious note, here's a story that I pulled this off MSNBC.
President Trump's proposed border wall facing a new challenge this afternoon. A conservation group and a congressman have filed a lawsuit to stop construction on environmental grounds. Arizona Democrat Rahul Grijalva joined the Center for Biological Diversity in a suit demanding the Trump administration perform an environmental impact study before construction starts. They say, quote, numerous endangered species would be impacted. I want to bring in wildlife biologist Jeff Corwin, who doesn't really need much of an introduction, but Jeff, always good to have you. Let's start with which animals specifically would suffer from this border wall.
Well, Craig, if this border wall happens, it will be an unprecedented environmental catastrophe. It's poised to cut through more than 1,200 miles of habitat along the border between United States and Mexico. There are over 90 threatened and critically endangered species that are in the crosshairs because of this wall, and we've got over 100 migratory birds that will be impacted from this wall. The endangered Mexican gray wolf, only 133 individuals left of this iconic carnivore, this amazing canine. Its head is on the chopping block. And
now, hold on a second. Wouldn't that carnivore potentially eat the 90 endangered other species? Just throwing that out there. And the birds, they can't fly over the fucking wall? Are you kidding me? Jeff Corwin? Really? Jeff Corwin, everybody. Come on. On MSNBC, Jeff Corwin is talking about birds going to be impacted because of the border wall? Fucking birds! Birds fly, dude!
Likely could fall prey to extinction. The expanse of the jaguar just now being restored into its habitat in Arizona will likely be extirpated, pushed back towards the precipice of extinction because of this disastrous wall.
At the risk of sounding ignorant or foolish, the birds specifically, wouldn't they just be able to fly over the wall?
Well, it's interesting you should say that, and it's actually an excellent question, and certainly many animals that fly can migrate over that wall, but many animals actually stay very low. Many of these animals, for example, birds and bats, are actually passing close to the ground surface because they're heading towards plants for pollination or seeds that they eat or fruits. For example, Craig, you may not even know this, but 50% of the desert plants in the Sonoran Desert, those cactus, 50% of them have their seeds dispersed or their flowers pollinated by bats. And bats use echolocation to navigate, and clearly a wall would be a terrible obstacle for them.
What would you say to those?
So, Jeff Corwin, what you're saying is that bats and birds would be flying so low to the ground trying to pick up food from these plants and cacti and pollinating these plants that they would fly into the wall? Are you fucking kidding me? They would fly into the wall? What about buildings, dude? What do they fly into buildings regularly? There's buildings everywhere. Why isn't Jeff Corwin talking about buildings along the border or in cities between the United States and Mexico, like San Antonio, Deming, Mexico? I don't get it. So currently we don't have a problem with bats and birds flying into fucking buildings, but if you put up a wall, these low-flying birds and bats are going to fly into the wall, and they won't be able to cross-pollinate or eat? Are you unfreaking believable? You want to talk about fake news? Jeff Corwin, you should be ashamed of yourself, man. Unbelievable. Literally, like, talking about the border wall. Okay, I get it. Certain people don't want the wall. Fine. Whatever. There's already a ton of wall there to begin with. There's already so much freaking wall. Okay? But your argument, Jeff Corwin, the fucking animal whisperer, you're going to say the birds can't fly over the wall? They're low flying looking for fruit? And the wall's going to make them go extinct? There's 90 different species of animals that are going to go... Yeah, get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. Oh my God. Unfreaking real. And MSNBC, the interviewer, I forget his name, I don't even care. But to call out Jeff Corwin like that and say, specifically the birds, you're saying they can't fly over the wall? Awesome. Kudos to that guy. He's probably going to get fired. He's probably going to get Arkancided, for that comment. It's ridiculous. Anyway, thanks for listening to The Kevin Holly Show, ladies and gentlemen. Catch us on the Internet Radio Network, irnbroadcast.com, TuneIn Radio as well. Search for IRN. Thank you, David Schifter. Thank you, Robert DuChemin. Thank you, Pops. Welcome back. We'll catch you next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Kevin's getting tired. It's time to end the show. He really freaking blew. It's end of the Kevin Holly Show.
I'd like to thank you for listening to the Kevin Holly Show. I hope you've had as much fun as we have bringing it to you. It's really been a pleasure. And be sure and get us again next week.
Okay, bye-bye.